Hello, everybody. It's me, Tim.
Eh,
I just recently got past 2 months of sobriety, and of course, my partner.
Greg is here too.
Sorry, I cut him off. I just noticed that. Sorry about that, Greg.
That's all right.
Shit, man. I was just telling Greg that I noticed the difference between not every podcast is the same. Whatever you want to call them. Some they show their faces and they show the environment around them, and some are just where you hear the voices. Because I hear different names: broadcast, podcast. But in my opinion, I like the way we do things. We're not fake. We're not forcing it. We say what we want. We say what we feel. That doesn't mean some of the things we don't say aren't embarrassing or we shouldn't have said, and I can acknowledge that. But uh, why don't you explain it in better words? But before that, I just want to say, and actually say this to you, Greg. Do you think we should go to some of these platform sites like SoundCloud and uh, all these sites where you can upload, where people can upload their podcasts?
I
What
guess
kind
it
of
wouldn't.
sites?
I guess it wouldn't hurt to check them out because I don't know much about them.
Well,
Um,
I say that because Kaylee Elise, if you remember her and Rob Dyke, she used to have a podcast with her husband, and she would put them on every site that you could put a podcast on. That's why I'm asking, because it seems like we're not getting enough traction on YouTube. And I mean, at first we were just doing it to talk, but if we're gonna be a legit podcast, um, we'll probably be one of the few where we don't have any special guest or anything like that. Not for a while until we meet someone who we can be comfortable with and wouldn't fuck around on the podcast. They'd be serious. They could be professional and they'll be fine with it. That's something I would want in someone we could bring on. But I was thinking we expand the podcast like Kaylee did.
yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I like to see what's out there and like you
Like
said, try to get more viewers and stuff or
we could
subscribers.
put it on that podcast FMN. I think that's a site. We can put it on Spotify. We can put it on iTunes. We can literally put it on any site that allows. We can put it on any site that allows. Well, I guess what I'm saying is we can put it on any site that allows us to. I guess.
Yeah,
Um. Anyways, I just wanted to tell people that. I just wanted them to be aware that we were thinking of doing that.
yeah, I'm all for that. I think that's a great idea. Let's look into that and see what we can do.
I agree. But anyways, moving on. Why don't you tell them about how your day has been going and your week? Because I got to go to the studio.
Okay. Well, this week I really haven't been doing much. I am actually looking for jobs to see what's out there in security world. Um, if not, then I got some other ideas that I might do. Just try to do things on my own. Um, just trying to, keep busy and get money and all that. Um, so I've been kind of working on that. And then pretty much just been laying back, just, doing things around the house, cleaning, doing stuff and trying to reorganize. We got, of course, put on Facebook pictures of my cat. And he's been a challenge trying to get into things and stuff, and so we're trying to reorganize, move things around so he doesn't get into stuff. So that's been a challenge. Um, weather's been really good in Chicago. We're finally seeing the 70s. Today it's supposed to be
That's a
77.
that is horseshit. I mean, I'm not calling you a liar, but I just saying, like, just to catch yourself, because the weather lately for both of us is like really shitty, and you saying that. That's my first answer.
Yeah, we're actually seeing spring for a change. It's kind of unusual for this time of year. Usually we're still in the 60s. We don't usually see the summertime temperatures to the end of May, early of June.
Here in upstate New York, near the Lake Ontario region, it's very cloudy and it's not rainy, but it's chilly. It feels like October weather without the place. Uh, feels the actual past.
Yeah,
It's pretty rare. It has the possibility to rain, and I feel like it might, but for now, I'm just going to take off. I originally took off my jacket because I thought my phone was more charged, so I was just going to put you in my pocket like usual. Excuse me, and just talk like I did for the rest of the day. But, it turns out that it was only at like 5%. I'm like, there's no way.
yeah,
So I'm gonna let it charge for a little bit because I put it in the wrong plug and it made it charge slower than normal. They're like, oh, it's 12 hours left until fully charged. Then when I put it in the other port, they're like, oh, like 2 hours left, and I'm like, okay, that's much much better. I you know, I've been getting more comments on my Kaylee videos recently. Not gonna lie to you.
oh, wow.
And some of those comments were saying how people are only watching the dark, the dark series, which is when she did like people that are murdered in something nameless series where people go missing. And I agree with that. In case you don't know who Kaylee is, Kaylee Elise, that's her middle name. I actually found out that's her middle name. That's not her last name. She never gave out her last name either.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I know, isn't that like smart? I think that's very smart.
Yeah.
But the nameless series is like where she would talk about people that went missing or people that were found dead, but their name isn't there, and they don't know if it's a murder or a suicide or whatever. And then the Darkness Matters series, which gets the most views, is where she talks about people that are murdered and the suspect is still at large. To me, they're kind of one and the same, but people want to consider them different. And who am I to argue with people that have watched them longer than I have?
Hmm.
And, to be honest with you, I was going down memory lane, just
Oh,
having old memories because, I've been watching this stuff since at least 2019. Her videos, that is.
yeah.
And as you know, her videos were deleted in the early 2020, so I was only there at the end. I think like late 2018, early 2019 is when I discovered her. She left in at the end of 2019. They were deleted early to mid 2020, and I scrambled around for 2 years trying to find anything I could. We should send a message back to that profile to see if they found anything. If they said they would let us know, and they never did.
Oh, okay.
Because that's the profile that had all those, all her, like, stories and shit.
Yeah.
Where she would read people's subscriber story times. I mean, are they the type of videos I wanted to put off her? No, but they're still her videos. It's just not my type of content that we make. Because if you remember, me and you did like 2 subscriber story times, but I never liked it. It wasn't my thing, in my opinion.
Right.
Why don't you tell them about your experiences with Kaylee Elise when you first discovered her, what you think? I gotta go deliver this.
Okay. I'll be honest with you all. I never even heard of Kaylee Elise until Tim brought her up, and I've always liked and enjoyed the mystery. When people talk about, murders or, lost people and stuff. But then when I started listening to her videos, I thought it was really unique how she put them together, and she did a great job of researching and finding all this information and putting them into the videos. And the big thing is she's very professional at it, and you can see the reaction, or when something comes across, you can just see the attitude that she plays into the video, and it's just really unique how she puts it all together.
Listen, it is, but there's one negative I have to say about Kaylee in regards to her videos. They were well done. First, let me just say that she's my favorite. She'll always be my favorite. I haven't watched any true crime since she left. But while she was professional and her videos were great, I realized something. She got too attached. I think she was the most attached out of any of the YouTubers that I've seen, because you could see her losing weight, getting depressed, gaining weight. You could see she lost her other hobbies. She stopped going to the gym. She stopped eating healthy. She stopped being happy. She started becoming more miserable, making less videos. And she lost her desire for YouTube in general. I think, seeing the dead bodies and doing this for a living, I think it snapped any desire. Because remember, she made a dream. Well, she made a video stating that this was her dream. She wanted to do this for a job, and she did. And then it started becoming more and more, and she just started going away. I think she got way too attached. I think that was her problem.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree. And sometimes, you get really into it and you don't realize you get that attached to it.
Well, yeah, but Greg, there's a reason why I never had me or you get too attached to a subject.
Right.
Well, not a subject, but I think the Kelly Elise topic is the one thing that I obsessed over. Not her personally, but her videos. I tried to find as much as I could for about a year. You know this. Like when we had the old channel from when I first met you. You don't remember all the broken links and everything we tried to find videos, the way back machine?
Yeah.
How many times we went over it and what we tried to do, Greg? That's what I'm saying. And then people took the videos from my channel and started uploading them to the way back machine. So that way, they would always be there. And I agree with that. I'm not mad at that. Like, they're not my videos. Do that. I put them up there so people could be reminded what a good person she was. And, like, my second complaint with Kaylee, I only have 2. One, she got too invested into her work.
Mm-hmm.
And it destroyed her and the channel.
Right.
2, Number two is that she lied. She promised her fans that she wouldn't delete the videos, the channel would stay up, and if she changed her mind, she would let us know beforehand. And she never did. She just deleted everything that was gone, like she never existed, like she stopped caring about the fans, and then, just boom. I'm not saying she didn't care, but I wonder if, like, somebody ever talked her into deleting them, or if somebody was playing with her mind, or if she just regretted making any video and being, like, famous on the internet. Like, maybe she just regretted ever putting her name and face out there, and she wants to be left alone, and she became a different person from her depression than who she was before.
Yeah.
And, she said if she ever did come back to YouTube, it would only to be as a gamer, like Discord. I was there, Greg, when she did her last Discord. I watched. She uploaded 2 videos, and I was only able to save the first one. But she uploaded 2 of them, and she was playing some Bloodborne game. It was like 8 hours long that she was doing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she created shit, it was just one of those things.
Yeah.
And it's a shame. That's still on her channel, right? Because I get paranoid in case any of them ever get deleted. Not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, they're all still up there, and I have all the backups.
Is the last live stream still up?
Yep, that's still up.
Are you positive?
Yeah.
Okay. I just get paranoid, man. Well, why don't you keep talking? We should switch to a different subject. We already made our feelings known. She was the best true crimer YouTuber, in my opinion, but, she moved on, and so should we. Let's talk about it. You start talking, I got to.
Okay. Well, I guess I can talk about, since the summertime is coming, I was wondering if anybody had any plans, and I know vacations and stuff. I personally don't have anything planned for vacations and stuff. I know some people that I used to work with that I see on Facebook every once in a while. They got some plans going on cruises and going into other countries and stuff, and going throughout the country. But my parents and I kind of slowed down with the traveling and talking about traveling through the summer. And, especially with COVID and everything, finally everything is opening back up, and the travel industry is now opening again, and people are getting more out and traveling. But I don't have anything planned for travel except for coming out to see you, Tim, in the near future. And
well, yeah, we were thinking about. I'll add on to what he's saying. We were thinking about a couple of things. We were thinking about maybe finishing the first book, like editing it to fix any grammar mistakes, any potential plagiarism, and maybe finding a publisher and finally getting that done instead of waiting until we finish the second book, which is on a hiatus. I'm sure you were curious about that too, Greg. But the second book is on a hiatus. I just have other pressing issues in my life right now, like trying to get out of debt and fixing my own mistakes that I've caused over the last few years to write it. I will start writing again soon. I just need to fix my mistakes. Sometimes as a man, you need to fix the mistakes that you make. And I'm one of those people where it eats me up until I do try to fix what I can. But back to what he was referring to, we were also thinking about traveling to Gettysburg or maybe going to see some sites for use one of those days. Just something that we can do to have fun. Or we're gonna make more videos and live stream podcasts, or go for walks, whatever we want to do. Like we've had special moments the last 3 times we've met. We've had special moments. For example, the first time I showed him all around Phoenix, where I lived at the time, and Phoenix, New York, that is. And we had a walk around the whole town, which was like 3 miles long, and we just had a really good time, really good talk. First time we ever met, and he nearly cried. It was a special moment. And just in case you're wondering, no, we're not gay. We're just really good friends. Because I've heard the jokes, oh, he's your new boyfriend. It's like, no, I've just never had a friend like him. We just have that bond. It's like a romance, just without all the gay touching and shit. I mean, there's the gay jokes, but I just wanted to get that out of the way because I said partner earlier, and what I mean by that is friendship and business partner, because he wants to be a writer too.
Right.
And he's my podcast partner, so we work together on the channel. Brandon went his own way, because if you remember, me and Brandon were doing podcasts for a while, but he stopped wanting to do it. And you can't say any of them weren't good, because if you recall, the one where me and him were really high, remember that one?
Yeah.
You can't tell me that one wasn't good.
Yeah, that was actually entertaining to watch.
No. I actually one of our first couple of podcast episodes when me and him first started, like 3 years ago.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed those because that was back, quite a few years ago, and things were different between you guys now, versus right now, and it just seemed like you could see the brotherhood in you guys, and it's just so different.
I agree. We were good friends. We cared about each other. He always wanted to be on camera. He always wanted to hang out. And, there was times that I blew him off, and I feel bad about that. There was times he blew me off, and then it just, after high school, it seemed like there was no more time left for us. I should have ended the friendship then, but, for the last few years, I've been dragging a dead friendship through the door to just get more videos, because I enjoyed them, and they can still be entertaining. Like, look at the Happy Easter, we're throwing fucking pine cones at each other. Like, me and him are still able to have good times, but he doesn't have the ideas or enthusiasm like he used to. When that second channel was deleted, I think that's when he quit.
Yeah, I agree.
He called me yesterday just bitching about life and, just saying some things he wanted to say. Nothing bad or against me or you. Just, he was just telling me Sammy, my ex, finally quit the workplace, because she didn't like her, and, the job's getting a little better.
Mm-hmm.
I asked him if he heard from Austin, but he hasn't. Neither have I, honestly. I haven't seen Austin since March 21st. And I knew Austin would be a liability friendship-wise. But whenever he would reach out, I'll hang out with him. I just realized it would be a mistake for me to do so first, because they wouldn't go anywhere. It's just like with Brandon. I wait for them to reach out to me, and if they don't, then we're done. It's just kind of what it is at that point. That's that's one of the few things I did get from my mom that I'm happy about. I can drop them just like that and go on.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it wouldn't bother me, but my mom has done that too, and my mom's like that. Like, if she realizes she's putting in more effort, or they never reach out, and they only want her to, and feels fake, and she'll drop it, and she doesn't want to talk to them anymore. Why she doesn't talk to her family or her sisters anymore? Because she always had to be the one to reach out. And I just decided for myself personally that I wasn't going to do it, and I didn't want to be the one to always reach out.
Right.
The only one I don't care if I have to is with you, because you reach out to me too. So, to me, that just is what it is.
Right.
Don't bother me. Because I can get a good talk out of you, I can get some videos out of you. Not that that's the only thing that matters, but you became very useful to me too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, listen, not everybody's just friends just because you like somebody. If you can get use out of them, even if it sounds bad, I'm going to get some use out of you. I've done that for a lot of my friends. I've found uses for them. They were my friends, yes, and I probably cared more about them than they did me. But
Right.
I wasn't just doing it for free.
Yeah, I totally.
Listen, this may sound bad, but listen, it's not like you're fucking. Well, I mean, some dudes do fuck their friends, but that's a different kind of friendly conversation. And it's not like I haven't fucked my friends physically before. Just girls. I know I have had a few gay experiences, but that's a different talk. And I didn't do anything gay, but some neighborhood kid came on to me and tried to do some gay stuff with me, and I just wasn't into it. But anyways, that's a different topic. What I'm saying is that you want their attention, you want their time. If you can find use for that, especially when they're not being a good friend, I'm gonna fucking do it. Brandon's not really a good friend, but I still like him as a person, and if I have to spend a few hours getting a video out of him, I'll fucking do it. I don't know why, it's not like me and you are really big on YouTube anymore, but something keeps us coming back. I like the podcast videos.
Right.
I like making videos. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I've been on YouTube for so long, I've been on YouTube since 2006.
Right.
I've had over 10 channels deleted, and YouTube is just a less bad version of Facebook. It doesn't block you as much, but just kind of is what it is. I get tired of this job, Greg, but I don't know if I should stay or not. I don't know what I should do. That's my problem, right? Because, I feel like if I should just get through it, it'll be fine, and I'll be fine,
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, you want to be here, not the rest of your life, but you just want to do this thing forever? What is it that you want to do? What is it that you want? And, I don't want to be here forever, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing you have to figure out is what you want to do for the remainder of your life. And that's hard for some people.
I've been pondering that question for about 10 years now. Well, I've been pondering that question for a while now. And I've never been able to get an answer myself. I've never been able to answer that.
Yeah.
So, even though I want to give you an answer, Greg, the answer is for that I really don't know. I just don't know.
And it's even hard when you have a career in mind and then that career doesn't work.
Or you can't do it.
Yeah, and you can't do it for different reasons, but yeah, then you got to figure out what you do next. I've always been told, I've had people tell me, my parents, teachers, to say, "Oh, always have a backup plan," and it's like I did never had a backup plan.
Well, maybe it's time to start
Yeah, it's never too late to have one,
suit yourself.
but yeah, I would advise if anybody has a career in mind and for some reason it doesn't work, always have a backup plan.
I was able to finally get my truck below 12 grand, so I'm at $11,977 left.
Okay.
I didn't get that bonus though.
Oh, you didn't?
Uh,
Man.
I just been recently I've been having this urge to go back and watch old videos, whether they be Kaylee's, Terrence Pop, because I've had this case on my mind the last 4 days, and I haven't watched any Kaylee videos. It was about when this 9-year-old girl went missing. Her older brother, who was in the military, was home at the time, but her parents weren't, right?
Okay.
He was babysitting her, and this was in the early 80s, so it's a different time. But even now, it still don't make any sense to me why a parent or guardian would do that. What he did to cause me concern is he sent her to the gas station to pick up a thing of Coke and get herself like a candy bar. She walked like, I think a mile down the road or like half a mile, like a few blocks to a 7-Eleven gas station. She didn't have any shoes on, and she was like 9 years old, walking by herself in like some kind of either small town or city, and she never came back.
Okay.
She would be about your age or maybe a little bit older now.
Okay.
Maybe. I think she was born in 66 or 76 or 77. So
Okay.
you'd be like a year or two older.
Yeah.
And then the second case was about this 13-year-old girl who was a little older than the other girl. One was in Nevada, and I think the other was in California. The first little girl, I'm pretty sure that was California, which would make more sense how a girl could walk barefoot a mile down the road. It would make more sense than it being in New York.
Yeah.
Or Chicago, because it's fucking rocky. And then the second girl was Nevada. Her mother went out, and this girl went to the local arcade or some kind of fair, and she was never seen again. She was walking home, and that was the last someone saw her, and she's never been found. I think she was like 13. She would be in her 50s by now.
Okay.
That was like the video I've been thinking about the last 4 days. Have you been thinking about any old cases or videos from back in the day?
Yeah, actually, there's a case, and it's been popping up here and there around the Chicago area. It's happened in Indiana where these two girls went missing, and they finally found the guy that killed them. And this happened, gosh, I think it was in the late 80s, early 90s. And it was going back and forth the last few years, but they finally found the guy that killed him. And it was these two little girls. Huh?
I gotta stop you. Are you sure you're not confusing it for a case a few years ago where this dude killed two early teenage girls? Like they were like 12 and 13. Their parents dropped them off at like summer reserve where they could go walking, and this dude followed them on a bridge and ended up strangling them, and it was never
Yeah,
found.
that was the same case.
Right, that wasn't in the early 80s or 90s. That was like 5 years ago.
I wasn't sure when it was.
Because the more you brought it up, I'm like, Greg, I remember that just like yesterday. It was some fat bastard.
I couldn't remember. I apologize.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I fucked up shit too. I think one of the girls snapped a picture, if you recall that detail.
Yeah.
And I think one of them caught his voice, but they weren't able to get away in time. And then he strangled them. I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah, I think so.
And I think their bodies were found later that day. Like, I hope he didn't rape them. I can't remember. I just put the memory and case out of my mind because it's like, what are you gonna do with a case like that? Like, why do you want that, on your mind, in your mind? You know?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you gonna do with that? I don't want to think of a case like that just because it makes me sad. But you know what it is. Like, cases like that rarely get solved, and I didn't want to think of a case like that.
Right.
Even now it makes me sad to think because those girls had all the time in the fucking world to grow up, and they're just there to kind of be kids. But what I don't get is like, why the fuck the parents never say, why would you drop your daughter off? I would have stayed. Like I don't care how old my daughter is. If she's like, if it's just two little girls there and no adult guy to protect them, old-fashioned sexism, I don't care. Where the fuck were her guardians? Where was the person to protect her away from these monsters? Why did you just drop them off?
Yeah.
You see, like, to me, that's the part that makes no sense. Why would you drop them off? Nobody was there to protect them. Anybody could have kidnapped them.
Oh, I know.
I don't even know where the fuck they put this package. I don't have time to fucking yeah, let me go back.
Okay.
Continue to talk about the case.
Yeah, and that has just been recently because they finally found the guy that killed him, and so that's why I brought that one up, because being in the Chicago area and Indiana being close, you hear a little bit more about the case than somebody living in a different location of the country. So that was one big case that really freshed up my mind. That's been unsolved for quite a while, and then there's other cases that have brought to my attention. I know on the channel I did this one always haunts me every once in a while, is on the channel I did the Brown's chicken murder, and of course that one's finally been solved, but it brings back memories because I knew a person that was a relative of one of the victims. And
the restaurant killing.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
Yeah, there was a girl in my criminal justice class. She sat next to me, and it was right at the beginning of the class, the semester. So we were getting to know each other and everything, and the classmates are getting to know each other, and we were talking about that murder as one of the subjects for the class for the day. And she was sitting next to me and she taps me on the shoulder and she goes, "Do you think I should make a comment?" I said, "What do you mean?" And she goes, "One of the victims was my brother."
Oh, fuck. Did
And
she say something?
and I said, "Honestly, I don't think this would be the right time to do it." And she goes, "Okay." And from that day on, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is the victim's sister."
How
And
did the teacher not put that together?
I don't know. I have no idea. And he was a cop too.
I don't think it's been. Greg, I would have easily put that together. Oh, wait, same last name. I would have had some questions, but you
Well,
kind of saved her some attention that she most likely didn't want. So good on you, right? Good on you.
like I said, it was right at the beginning of the semester, so maybe he didn't memorize people's names at the time. Yeah.
Or if you didn't want to say anything, you might have recognized the case if you ever come from the area.
Yeah. Because this had happened probably about 3 weeks into the class. And we
Then
were,
he most likely do.
yeah. But that one haunts me every time because that was a big murder case and it didn't happen that far from where I used to live. Well, about maybe 8 miles, but still, I knew exactly where it was. And what's that?
Greg,
Yeah.
you brought up memories for me. I was assigned when I was in criminal justice. I was assigned a case. It was called the Bernard something Bernard, like Bernard Walker. He was a sheriff for the Cuba County Sheriff's Office for 30 years. Oh, Bernie Gallo. That was the name. Bernie Gallo. I was writing a paper about him, and I'll explain the case. I'm from Cuba County, which is Cuba County, New York State, and this guy lived, I think, in Aurelius, and which is like a subsection of the county, and he was a sheriff for 30 years. I think he just recently retired or was like one of those part-time officers,
Okay.
And he had a 28-year-old son with mental issues. And the son and father were arguing one day. And the son grabbed a 22 and shot him between the eyes when he was working out in the garage. And then he went into the kitchen and waited for the cops to be called. And he turned himself in. I think he was sentenced to second-degree murder.
Okay.
And as I was writing out my story, I was talking to an old friend, like a tutor, an English tutor, and he was helping me correct stuff. And besides us is a girl getting tutored too. And I was talking about the case, and she's like, "That's not what happened." Or like, she said, "That's not what happened in that way,"
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "What are you talking about? Like, who are you to say that?" And she's like, "I'm his daughter-in-law. I married his other son, Joe Gallo." And I'm like, "Oh." Right? If there's ever a time to feel like a dickhead, that's probably the time.
Yeah, I can see that.
Right? In case you're wondering if I was shocked, yeah, it was one of the most shocking moments of my life. Because how do you react to that? Like, oh, that's not what happened. That's my father-in-law. Who are you? And it's like, nobody.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it was the weirdest thing ever, guys. But it was really cool. She told me, like, how it happened, which I already told you the story. They got in an argument and he shot his father. The son always had issues, mental issues. In case that was your next question.
Yeah, actually it was.
Him and the father son always had issues, and they just culminated, and he shot his father. He obviously had regret, but he shot him. It's too late now. That was over 10 years ago.
Wow.
I know. I think he's still in prison to this day. But yeah, that was my story of meeting a murderer's daughter-in-law. A murdered victim.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. We're going to the same college.
Wow.
She was very strict and kind of mad, I guess the way I put the story, so she fixed it for me. But me and my tutor were looking at each other wide-eyed like, what the fuck is happening?
Right.
Because, I mean, like, you would never expect to run into the family member. You know?
Yeah.
I did it. But, that just kind of is what it is. I'm on the right path to fixing my mistakes, so I'm happy, man, I'm really happy.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, here's another pup. Another pooch, another puppy. I gotta pet this dog. I fucking love this dog. You can keep talking. I gotta do kind of.
Okay.
Any more cases you thought about or knew about that may haunt you?
Those are the big ones and then I had that case, I just recently put on the channel, the one that happened in Wheeling. I could talk a little, just recap on that one.
You mean the Winnipeg?
No, the one that happened in my neighborhood when I was a kid.
When did you put this up?
It's the one that's on the channel right now. It's the murder in Wheeling, Illinois.
Yeah, Winnipeg.
Yeah, that murder, just to recap if nobody saw that video, but basically that happened in my neighborhood back in the early 90s, and she was an exotic dancer, and it's scary when it's happening in your neighborhood, but the good thing is it wasn't a random thing or somebody going around the neighborhood and doing it. It's basically she knew the person and stuff, so that's what kind of narrows the murder down. But still to this day, they still haven't found the guy that did it, and it's just scary when it's in your own neighborhood, and it was just a couple blocks in my neighborhood when it happened. And in my video, I mentioned I was walking around and saw the police tape on there and in the area, and didn't know for sure what it was at first. And I thought it was like, a fire or something that happened. And then later on that evening, they did a recap on the news about the murder, and then that's how I found out about it. Because they kept it quiet, and there was you just didn't see any evidence of a murder, and so basically, like I said, to this day they still haven't found the person that did it. They do think it's a male that she knew, and I don't even know what's going on with the case. I haven't heard anything lately about it through the years. But this happened back in the early 90s.
And did they find the person that did it?
No, they have not. But all they know is they know it's a male that possibly she knew, and that's all they know.
Gotcha. How old was she?
She was in her, I think, 30s, early 30s, late 20s, early 30s. They didn't really have a age, but somewhere in there.
So she'd probably be maybe in her 50s or 60s today.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, she lived alone, and like I said, I didn't know this happened until I actually saw it on the news, and I'm like, oh my God, that's just down the street.
Did it scare you?
Yeah, it did.
What, that you'd have to play some guy off, or that nothing was prevented for her death? Like, what'd you think?
Well, at first, you didn't know for sure if it was like a burglary that somebody came into the neighborhood and just randomly did this. Because it was all sketchy at the beginning. And then later on, you find out that she probably knew the person. And then that's when it's like, okay, cool, we don't have to worry.
I mean, I know, but it still sounds fucked up, man.
I know.
But, I've had those thoughts too. Oh,
But maybe one day they'll figure out who did it and they'll find him. But I'm just glad that they narrowed it down. They figured out what was the cause and that kind of thing. So, you know, but hopefully they'll catch the guy one of these days.
it's turning into a nice day, like physically outside.
Yeah, it's the same here. It's sunny and 65 right now.
I don't know what the degree is here. It just seems like kind of get more sunny a little bit. You know, today's gonna be one of those long days that I had 2 days ago.
Yeah, I
It's
kind of
gonna be one
figured.
of those long days, buddy.
I
I
kind of
didn't get to
figured.
my first stop until like 10:30.
Wow.
I don't know if you like this type of job, Greg.
The only thing I
Yeah.
thought about, was being a postal man, a postal person at one time. I thought about that, but that was a long time ago.
You can still do it.
Yeah,
Sounds like you have no interest.
I don't know. I'd rather do that probably than doing a FedEx or UPS or something. But
Appreciate it.
yeah,
No, you're absolutely right. But UPS, I'd rather be at UPS because they make really good money, but they're really strict.
yeah, that's what I've heard.
That's the problem. They're really fucking strict. And, as much as I love structure and discipline, I don't want someone up my ass 24/7, but I don't want the lazy management that I have where I'm at now. Just a mix in between, but not always going to get what you want.
Hmm.
It's going to be a heavy day with these ones, I'll tell you that much.
Lots of heavy packages, huh?
There's going to be a heavy package, yes. Gotta open up the back door. You can keep talking, I gotta do it.
Okay. But yeah, at one time I thought about working in the postal service. But when you're a kid, you think of 10,000 different jobs you want to do. And I thought that because it was neat watching the male people coming through my neighborhoods and watching them walk around. I'm like, oh, cool, walking around the neighborhoods and getting exercise and getting to know the neighbors and the community. And I thought that would be a cool job to do. And then I thought, well, maybe work in the post office and be a clerk too. But I don't know if I want to deal with all those people. Um, but being outside, I like being outside. I don't like being in an office. And I've done that a couple of times throughout my life, and it's just like, all right, I'm ready to cut the roof open and have a sunroof or something because I just want to see the outside. So that's one of the things I like doing is just being outside um and just being on all kinds of weather. My last job, I was a security officer, and I was outside all the time, and it was just so nice being in all different types of weather. And of course, yeah, it was a bitch being in the cold and in the rain, but it really doesn't bother me. That, even to this day, I'll walk outside, take walks in the snow and the rain, and it doesn't bother me at all. But I do miss that. So I like to have a job where you're still outside. And I don't mind being inside, but I just don't want to be inside for 8 hours. And I did that a few times in my previous jobs, where I'm in there just 8 hours a day, and it just drives you crazy. So maybe the next time I get a job or whatever, it'll still be outside. And then seeing especially in the springtime now, seeing all the flowers and trees blooming and stuff, and um, that's another thing I enjoy doing is seeing that, and then if you're out in the evening time, which I have too, and seeing the sunset, that's another good thing too. So, um, so good. Being outside is one of my things I like doing. And the weather, again, weather is great depending where you are, and just have fun. That's all you can do. Speaking of weather and everything, I know in some of my videos I mentioned about where I used to live, and one of the places I did live was out in Arizona, and I used to live in Phoenix and Tucson, and just being out in the nice warm weather and over 100-degree weather, and kind of miss that kind of weather. But it was too hot, but I just miss it.
Holy shit, you're still talking?
Yeah, I'm still talking.
I was being sarcastic. Yeah, fucking, I had to deliver to a longer place so I don't walk up the hill. I'm on County Route 4, and surprisingly, we still have a connection.
Oh, wow.
I know. Well, if we ever lose connection or, you can't get in touch with me, just pause it. Don't end it.
Okay.
So I want to see the point of us, restarting.
Right.
I mean, does that, sound any better to you? I'd rather just pause it, and then when we get back in touch, just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no problem.
That's also what's different between us and other podcasts. We tell what's going on around us and how the equipment is, too. I actually like that. So people actually know what's going on in first person and, how the situation unfolds.
Yeah.
I like that. It's different. It's a very different experience. That's what I like about it. I don't know about you, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Sure you do, right? Sure you do.
No, that's a good idea. Yeah, I'll do that if we lose connection.
That's a good idea.
putting on pause.
SoundCloud?
Yeah, there you go.
I can't keep, like, shit keeps coming up missing. Like, I don't know what the fuck it is. It's getting annoying. Yeah.
Or they're on the way in the bottom somewhere.
That's where they are. That's where they are. Alright. I'll ever do this job, guys. I got yelled at by the boss today.
Oh yeah.
Indeed I did, Greg. Indeed I did. Indeed I did get yelled at. Indeed I did get yelled at. Because apparently the head guy for, the head guy for FedEx, he sent my boss a photo of me taking a picture of, like, a picture of a package in the truck, like, with my scanner. They're like, oh, you're not supposed to take pictures of the package in the truck, so that way, if customers complain, blah, 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 we have proof that, it wasn't misplaced, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, I got you. I'll probably be out until like 6:30 again, to be honest with you.
Oh jeez.
Like I was 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Because like yesterday was perfect. Like I got done at like I think 5.
Okay.
But today I haven't even hit 20 stops yet. Like I keep getting over 100 stops. Like I don't know what's going on. It's gonna be a very long day. I'm also mad because apparently Jason was brought back at 165 a day, and I'm only making 160.
Yep.
So I'm mad about that, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
And it just makes me. I know Jeff, the guy next to me, is making 165, but he's been there for like 8 years. So I don't know how much they make.
Yeah.
All I know is that, that's why I want to look for another job. But like the convenience of my situation now, like with how close FedEx is to everything, like
Oh, I know.
I'm just gonna keep my head down, just keep paying my bills. I'm excited that I got my truck below a certain amount.
Right.
Fuck, I already want to buy it. Of course I did. Fuck would I not? Yeah, a long day. And I had to take other people's shit too.
Yeah.
So, same old, same old. And the truck is still a piece of shit. So, just everything that you've known before. Guys, I would recommend not going into this workforce because, it'll just be very frustrating for you. I just have that feeling, a lot of people want it like this type of field and they probably quit. I don't blame them. I really don't. So, just in case you guys ever, like, want to quit this workforce or however it's going for you, like, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. Trust me, I do. Jesus, the glasses that I need are here. There it is. They hit it. It does make me feel like a fool sometimes for not making more, and I do feel like I'm getting screwed, but, I'm kind of don't really have a choice but to continue working here until I find something better.
Yeah. And I know that's the hardest thing is trying to find something.
Indeed. Indeed. So I rolled out of Georgia, because I know that was in one of the states we were talking about, but I don't know if we should go to Georgia anymore because me and my brother just don't talk anymore, and he's changed.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like his wife. I don't know if that's a good place to go anymore. I like Tennessee. Tennessee's always been very pretty and very nice. Plus, there's a lot of things we can do there, right?
Yeah.
I just always loved it. It was always one of my favorites, but we can still consider Georgia. I was talking to my mom, and like we're both kind of bitter with how it ended with Jeff and what happened, and we don't like his wife, so we were just saying, what's the point of Georgia? And, what are the point?
Right. No, that's understandable.
And me and my mom feel like he betrayed us. Or like we feel a sense of betrayal with how things ended. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
There's a sense of betrayal. There's a sense that things could have been changed. He could have worked better with us, I suppose. A lot of issues that are going on. We just feel like it should have ended differently, and it didn't, and it bothers us.
Yeah, and you don't even know what the future's going to hold with him.
Indeed. We always said that we wish him luck. We hope everything works out for him. He's still my brother and her son, and we love him, but there's no point in talking to him, wishing him happy birthday, which I did regardless, but, Jeff is kind of someone that talks to you when he needs something, and then besides that, you're pretty much gone. So we're like, since we're gone, why not just move on and cross out Georgia? And I didn't want to live there anyways. But I couldn't turn down the opportunity to be close to family, and now that's not a possibility anymore.
Mm-hmm.
My dad took Amy to her surgery yesterday.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember you mentioning that.
My stepmother, Amy, she has autoimmune disease, and she had her pancreas turned, like taken out. She's had a lot of issues in her life, and it's all been genetic. That's the sad part. But she can't eat because her stomach is like inside out. It's like shrinking upon itself, and the doctors at the hospital or place she was going to said there's nothing they can do. So they're gonna try and like talk to another specialist, but Amy's kind of like, it's done. I'm just gonna live life while I can until I go out.
Yeah.
But it's killing her, and then my dad, he tried earlier before he called me, and he just said, at this point, it is what it is. Not much he can do. What's the point of stressing about something he can't change anymore?
Right.
It killed him though. It hurt him. Like, he felt terrible. And he wanted to help her, but sometimes it's not you can do, right?
Oh, I know.
It makes me glad that I at least am in somewhat of decent condition. I'm not going to say good condition, but I'm at least all there,
Yeah.
If she can't eat, really move, high blood pressure, diabetes, like, it's ruined her life. She can't work. She wants to die, honestly. And, it doesn't help that her sister, Leanne, died from cancer last month. In 10 days, it would have been a month, right?
Jeez.
She had that happen to her, too. So, a part of me feels like Amy's just ready to go.
Yeah.
She's ready to move on. Not like die, but, she told my dad on multiple occasions she's tired of fighting, And, if I was her, I would be too, because she's been going through it for years, and she just doesn't really have the energy for it anymore.
Oh, I know.
So, and if I was in her position, I wouldn't have the energy to fight it. I really want to.
No, especially if you're in a lot of pain all the time.
Well, she is.
Yeah, that would kill me.
She's always in a lot of pain. That's one of the problems.
Yeah.
And, my dad's going through so many appointments, medications, doctors, so much drama and sadness. And, he's already said he won't know what to do when she goes. And I'm like, Dad, for me personally, that's a double-edged sword. And unfortunately, we didn't get to finish our conversation because he had to go back in the house. Well, he's like, listen, we'll finish this conversation later. I gotta go in,
Yeah.
Well, what I was gonna tell him is it's a double-edged sword. I don't want her to die. I would always want her to be around for you, but at the same time, if she does go, I'll be able to have you back in my life. I'll be able to see you again, hang out with you. You'll be able to do things again. We'll be able to make more memories as a family, take pictures, and be a family once again, not divided over stupid bullshit. I'll be able to have a dad again. And I don't think you'd want to hear it that way, but I have no other way I can fucking say it.
No, I totally agree with you, because after she goes, he won't have anybody, and he'll come back to you guys.
I wouldn't put it like that, but yeah, just because it sounds in poor taste.
Yeah.
But, it's sometimes you can't word it any different. Like, when some people go in your life, even if it sounds fucking terrible, it makes you feel like a terrible human being. Which it does, don't get me wrong, it does. A part of you is happy. maybe you'll finally get to have adventures again, feel like a fucking family again, talk again, you know? Maybe you'll be able to feel what you wanted to feel all those years ago. I just hate wording it the way I do because it's not like I've always hated Amy or wanted her to go. For the longest time, right, I loved it. We had some good times.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, as things have gotten more and more bad, so has the amount of time we haven't spent together and seeing each other, and no more photos, no more cookouts, no more seeing each other, just staying at the house and being miserable. I can't live a life like that. You know, Greg, I admire people that can do that. Sacrifice portions of their life to be there for their spouse and do everything and be everything to their spouse. Like never go anywhere. It sounds like I'm criticizing. I am at the same time because I can understand why people do it. Respect off to them. I could never do it, no matter how much I love someone. I could just stay at home all day, never fucking doing anything. I can't. No matter how much I love someone, I have to go out and do things. I can't do what my dad does. I respect him for it. Because he's doing what he thinks a man should, taking care of his spouse, trying to get her everything she needs before she dies. And I respect that, right? But I can't do that.
Right.
You know, and I did, but you know what? I finally got to tell him how I felt, and I told this last, well, you know, I told this last podcast, but I just had to reaffirm everything. And I finally did it. And, you know, it made me feel better for a second. I no longer feel bitter, and, you know, me and my dad can talk goofy, but we don't really talk. And honestly, I don't really feel bad if we don't talk anymore. You know, it just is what it is. Why feel bad? You did your part. You told him how you felt. He finally told you how he really felt, not just, oh, you know, staying at home with Amy. You know, I love her. Blah blah blah. He finally told you he was as miserable as you were. But you know, it's his wife. What's he supposed to do?
Yeah.
What can he do? And you know what, Greg? I feel better because I finally got what I wanted out of it. All I wanted was the fucking truth. All I wanted was just to tell him how I truly felt, so I could get it out of my mind, so I could finally move on any way I wanted to.
Right.
That was my problem. I felt like I couldn't move on, and I would lose a relationship with him forever if I said what I truly wanted to say. You know what? I think for the longest time I actually would have. But yes, I can't do nothing about it now. Do nothing about it now. I gotta go fix some things. It's gonna be a long day indeed, Greg. That's all I can say. You know?
Yeah.
Uh, but Peyton reached back out to my dad.
Oh, she did.
Yeah, you know the one that said she hopes my stepmother dies?
Oh, yeah.
That one. And my dad told her to to Amy.
Right.
And she's obviously not. In my mind, what I think Peyton wanted to happen is that she thought that Dad would crumble and come back to her. You know?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know exactly.
She probably thought that he would crumble, come back to her, and, they would be a family again, and Amy could just kick rocks eventually. Well, that's going to happen. She is going to kick rocks, but, Dad won't be the same afterwards. I'm resentful towards her, but I'm also respectful towards her at the same time. It's funny how you can not like somebody and still respect the hell of them. It's a very funny feeling.
Right.
But she made my dad a kinder person. She made him less violent, more calm, less of a whore. She made him more thankful and thinking about shit. She made him happy with himself. She gave him love. Now, did I feel that love? Fuck no. Not at all. But it's not my life. That's the main part he always said. It's not my life, is what he would say.
Right.
And she tried to throw us under the bus. She tried to say, oh, but your other kids, did worse. She was trying to say, oh, we did worse, but he forgave us. And Dad's like, no. They never wished death upon Amy. They never said half the fucked up shit that you have about Amy. You wished death upon her. You wished that she would die,
Yeah.
And he's just like, I can't accept that. I can't forgive that. And I can respect that. She's been on cut and treated people terribly for years, and she finally got her comeuppance, right?
Yeah.
She finally got what was coming to her, I guess is my point. She finally got what she deserved.
Yeah. Wow.
And, Dad said maybe he could start a relationship with her again if she can get Amy to forgive her. Or something like that. I respect it. I respect it.
Oh, yeah.
And he also said that, Peyton, none of my kids ever gave me ultimatums because they know how that would go. And, I find ultimatums to be funny. Someone's like, oh, you do this or I leave. It's most likely due to some hurt or insecurity if I had to be a psychologist for a moment. But, I get why people have done it. Have I ever done that? I don't remember ever doing something like that because that's not my style. They prove if they want to be in my life or not. Just as an adult, I finally agree with what my dad's saying for the most part. He's saying, I'm nearly 50, I'm 50, I'm too old to be given ultimatums by anybody, And, he pretty much said to Amy, the same thing, don't give me ultimatums. It won't work for you. Just like it won't work for my kids. It won't work for anybody that tries to give me that. And you know what? I can understand what he's saying. Do I completely agree with it? Hell no, Greg. Of course not. You kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
But I can respect it. I probably shouldn't have talked about it at all, but, mine and yours is a different type of podcast. We just say things that may even seem personal, but we just talk about everything.
Yeah, that's what's unique.
And, me and my dad hopefully can flesh out more of a relationship someday, because I would like that. I would like for us to have a better relationship again someday, but if we can't, then I'm not going to cry about it. It's just going to have to be what it is. for now, my job is just going to have to be what it is, too.
Yeah.
Because at this point in time, I just really don't want to restart, man.
No, and that's the hardest thing to do.
Exactly. I'll have to restart a new technique. I'll have to restart everything. And, I just really don't want to do that. I'm good.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that crash, that horse accident that killed that 15-year-old girl?
No, I didn't hear that one.
Her name was Hannah Surfass. She was 15, born in 2006, if that makes you feel old. And she landed on her head, and then her horse landed on her. Like the horse tripped.
Ooh.
And it killed her. I don't know if it was instant, but she went to the hospital and, she was declared dead. So I'm going to guess it fucked her up. She's dead. It's sad because she was a very pretty girl, very talented, homeschooled, Christian, had two brothers and one sister. Was very talented with horses. It was just a freak accident. She won awards for horse breeding and just a very smart girl.
Wow.
So it's an accident and a tragedy.
Yeah.
She could have been something special, and well, when you're dead, you can't do anything. It didn't say if they were going to bury her yet or what was going to happen, but if you want to look that up, you can. In other news, in Fulton, where I deliver every day, there was a car accident of two high school sweethearts. They were on their first prom together.
Uh-huh.
And she accidentally went into the other lane and hit another car. Like she went into the opposite lane and got hit. She died at the scene. Her boyfriend, she was the driver. Her boyfriend, who was like a year younger than her, I think, is fighting for his life at the hospital. But it happened in Fulton. You can look it up.
Okay.
You can look up Fulton, New York, Junior's crash. It happened the 30th. Hannah's accident, I think they happened the same day, actually. Hannah's accident and that accident.
Wow.
And it's a shame.
Yeah.
What are you doing now?
Yeah, I can look it up.
If anybody else out there that's listening wants to look it up, they can. It's a very sad tale because those two were a week away from their first prom together. They've been together since 7th grade, and I think they were juniors. So great, that's 4 years of dating. Imagine how scarred her boyfriend's gonna be if he wakes up.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine you date this girl for 4 years and she dies in a car accident that she caused? I know that sounds terrible, but Greg, she's the one that went into the opposite lane.
Right.
They don't know what caused it. That's the thing. But I guarantee you, Greg, that guy's not going to date or do anything for a while. That'd be traumatized. They don't know what caused it, honestly. They don't know why it happened.
Okay, yeah, I'm seeing it now.
What, the Hannah one or Junior?
The junior.
She's holding a dog Sunday?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the right one. I think her boyfriend was 15 and she was 16. But, If you read, it will say that she went into the wrong intersection. You wonder, like, why she did that, you know? What happened?
Yeah.
Did it say that? Did you read it?
Yep, it did. That she went into the wrong lane.
So, wouldn't it be her fault that she died? I know that sounds cruel, but just say it as it is.
It would be her fault, but it also depends on what caused it. Like if there's a health issue, but no matter what, it would have been her fault. Yeah.
Do you find it disturbing that they don't say what happened to the passengers in the other vehicle?
I think sometimes they wait until they do their autopsies and more of their investigation before they can bring that all out.
I just find it slightly disturbing, honestly.
I know.
You know?
Yeah.
I got a sheriff on my ass. I just find it super funny. I mean, if I get pulled over, you know, it just is what it is. You know, it just is what it is, man, you know?
Yeah.
You know, we're not supposed to go in driveways, it just kind of is what it is. Dude, that sheriff's car is fucking rusted to hell. I also just don't want them all on my ass. That's the first sheriff car I've ever seen rusted. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Guy must have been a sheriff for a while. But yeah, you know, I don't know how the rest of the day is gonna go, but I was also reading up on deaths yesterday. I just try to get it out of my mind, you know. I'm so young, but I think about death a lot, and the story I was reading about was WWE wrestlers that died young, like the Von Erichs. You ever heard of the Von Erichs?
Yeah, I have.
The famous wrestlers that killed themselves, they're all brothers.
Yeah.
That's what I watched.
Okay.
And only one brother left. That's a really sad fucking tale, man. Or all the other wrestlers that died of heart attacks or drugs, you know. Nobody ever got charged, even though I blame Vince McMahon. Just a bunch of them died young. It's really a sad tale.
I know.
Podcasts I like talking about, but maybe we didn't really have anything to talk about today. You know?
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but we're coming up with some good topics.
Yeah, it's just the difference between our podcast and a lot of others is we don't talk about sex or like we're not bringing on people. We're not talking about like, oh hey, what do you think about STDs or this hot porn star? Like, think about Logan Paul's podcast. Like, always bring on some hot chick or like some people that talk about stupid shit. Like, oh, guys like to fuck me on my period. It's like what? Like I was watching the podcast, and they brought on this girl that is admitting that she likes getting fucked on her period, and like all the dudes fall in love with her after that. It was really disgusting. And they're all fucking laughing about it. I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is disgusting.
Yeah.
I just didn't like it. I couldn't get into it. I'm like, this is nasty. Is this really what they're talking about, like this podcast? I could never do a long long-term podcast, like we do one every day or a week or whatever his schedule is. But like, I would just want to talk casually. I can never be like super professional about it. I can do professional episodes, but it doesn't feel like me. It feels fake. I hate feeling fake. You know?
No, and I agree with you. And sometimes I think, when you talk like about life or even your life, it can be more interesting.
Yeah, but I'm sure people want to hear other things, but that's the downside of society today. They want something that will capture their attention. People talk about suicide or all these deep issues that nobody wants to hear about anymore. That nobody cares about anymore. It goes to the bottom.
Yeah.
It's sad, but that's life. That's just, in my opinion, that's just life. You just gotta move on.
Right.
And, right, you don't find it sad that it seems like a lot more people are dying than they're supposed to? That population control is going down, even though it's supposed to be going up. You don't find that to be weird? Like, more people are dying since the COVID era than I thought possible.
No, I totally agree with you. As I've seen, I read statistics and articles about that.
Heart disease or something. Like, it seems like a lot more people are dying than when I was a child, or maybe even when you were younger. Or maybe it's because we're older, we're paying attention, but I doubt that because, I was 20. I was in my early to mid 20s before, COVID ended. So, like, I don't think so. It's just very bad to me.
Yeah.
But hey, if it keeps population control, which I think they could get a bigger issue out of than they should, but I guess that's just going to be what it is. But, let me just pause the podcast real quick and just say, I hope, you know how I feel about religion, right?
Yeah.
Well, I hope those, I just hope all those that were affected by the tragedies that I talked about.
You want to pause it?
No. I was being dramatic.
I just want to make sure.
I meant like away from the regular programming, because usually we're funny or say stupid shit. I can't find it in me to try to make light of it or anything, it's very tragic. They were supposed to outlive both me and you, right? They were born in like 2006, right, 2006, I was 10.
Yeah.
Like, right, people born in 2007 have already died. What I'm saying is that they shouldn't be dead. They should outlive both me and you. We shouldn't be hearing about it. But, that's why you always got to be careful when you drive.
Right.
Because that could have easily been me and Brent. You know that.
Oh, I know.
Think of all the stupid shit me and him have done. Just me and Brandon have done a lot of stupid stuff, and we could have easily been dead just like that. So that's why I say, everybody out there, always be careful. Look after yourselves. Just be safe, friends. Because I hate hearing people die. Yeah, I know it happens every day, but it's still scary.
Yeah.
It makes you sad. But it also makes you realize how people can become desensitized. Because I feel like most human beings aren't surrounded by death every day.
Oh, no.
deaf, like some people are, like certain fields, I would probably be a drinker or still a smoker. You know, I don't know what I would be doing or how I would feel. Honestly, I don't know how I would be feeling. Right? Just being honest with you, I'd probably become desensitized. You know, cry or become alcoholic or maybe put a gun in my mouth. I don't know how the field goes. You know, it's different for everyone.
Right.
You know, just yeah, I'm fucked for today. Like I already know I'm gonna have to go back and get the packages, so that's great. Well, it's just gonna be what it is. Like I said.
Yeah, there's not much you can do.
No, I mean I didn't really do anything yesterday. You know, I was just on my phone. You know, I went to the gym and I only played. Greg, I legit only played like one game of NBA because I just didn't feel the urge. You know, just I read those stories that I just told you about, and I felt really sad, and I just couldn't find it in me to be in the basketball mood anymore.
Right.
Like, you know how I get when I hear certain stories or I can't get something out of my head, it can stick with me for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
The story stuck with me, you know, just because of the age. I think that's what the saddest part is. I mean, any death is sad, and their deaths aren't more important than others. I'm just saying that I noted that because one was in my work area, and two, it's just really sad that they're so fucking young. They have their whole lives ahead of them, and you know, just one small mistake in accident. That's the sad part, Greg. Both of them were. Sorry about yesterday, guys. We were gonna upload a video, and this may seem kind of weird because you know you'll hear a pause, and then you'll hear my voice explaining what happened. But the internet connection between us ran out yesterday because I was on a bad road, and the timer ran out because you know after we were off the phone for like a couple hours, I didn't feel like doing it, to be honest with you. But here we are to finish the episode. We had like an hour and 40 minutes of the original episode, and we're going to combine the two instead of making them two separate episodes. Well, actually, let me get your info on this. Right? Do you want to make them two separate episodes, or do you want to make it one episode?
We can make it one episode if you like. I mean, I'll just put the two videos together.
No, I get that, but I mean, what's your opinion on it? What do you want to do? Because yeah, you know, like two separate episodes is good regardless, in my opinion. But we can also have another free episode. It's like, oh, two in a row. That's rare of them to do. You know, that's why I'm saying it like that. I'm not saying we can't make it two episodes, but I'm just saying I wouldn't complain if you wanted to do it that way too.
Yeah, we could do two separate episodes.
Right, am I trying to think? I want to know.
No, actually, let's do that.
Okay, if we're gonna do that, then let me restart this episode by saying hello. Well, if we're gonna do that, then on the previous episode, I want you to write in the description, "Hey, internet was cut off, and sorry for the way it ended."
Yeah, I can do that.
And okay, you should start uploading it now. Or can you not do that while we're recording?
It will slow the system down, so I'll just wait until we're done.
That's fine. That way you can upload them.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that one should already be ready to upload at the same time, so that wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, we can upload them both together.
Yeah, that'll be fine. Anyways, my name is Tim.
And I'm Greg.
To another episode, and we are Reality Duo. It's a much nicer day today. The day's a little easier. They packed it a little differently today, so it's not as fucked up. It's very beautiful out. I'm thinking of going for a bike ride later. You think I'm going for any rides later, Greg? Any walks, anything?
I'd like to take a walk later, but we got rain forecasted today, so we'll see where that goes.
No offense, but you don't like walking in the rain? You've never done that?
No, I actually don't mind it. I mean, I walked in the rain, I've walked in snow. It just all depends on like if it pours. I don't like walking when it's pouring, but I don't mind the light rain.
Gotcha. It's kind of cathartic in a way.
Yeah.
You know, when it lightly snows on a very snowy day, and you get to walk around and it slowly goes on your head, not fast, but very slow, it makes me feel majestic. I like to run when it heavily rains because it feels different, especially if the sun's going to come up regardless.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the rainbow. Yeah. I mean, what do you feel about thunderstorms? I don't like to do it then.
I have actually walked when it's starting to thunder and lightning, and I just turn around and go back. I don't like walking in it.
Yeah, you know, my favorite weather. Honestly, my favorite weather back in the day was always a nice thunderstorm.
Yeah.
You know, it was always a nice thunderstorm. See what I can see. You know, enjoy the thunder. But I don't really see them too much anymore. It seems like the older I get, the more rare it became. You know.
Right.
But anyways, what I wanted to talk about. The reason why I was looking through a bunch of my Facebook photos the other day. And the reason why I did that was because my mom sent me a photo I don't remember taking or being a part of. And I looked through my dad's Facebook, my mom's Facebook, my Facebook. I don't remember, you know, I just really don't remember the photo being taken. It was me and my brother Brandon at some kind of diner or restaurant, and I don't remember that photo. So I told her, oh, you should post that and tag us. I don't know if she will or not, but, you know, some photos I don't remember being a part of. And what it made me do, you know, because occasionally she'll save photos and shit, what it made me do was look through all my old photos and relive memories as I was looking at people that some are dead, unfortunately, some I don't talk to anymore, and some I just knew in passing. But, you know, I always liked a quick memory back in the day, and I would take it's weird how fast time goes by. It kind of reminds me of that song by the Righteous Brothers. I'm sure you would know this because it was like 10 years before you were born, but Unchained Melody.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember that song, but I was just listening to it like an hour ago.
Oh, okay, yeah. I remember the song. It's been a while since I've heard it.
Indeed. If I had to think of like a song back in the day that I love listening to, regardless, put your head on my shoulder. That's a pretty one. Or I'd rather go blind, but by Etta James. That's pretty good too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just looking at the old photos, it was pretty sad. They hit the package.
Yeah, of course. It's probably gonna be underneath something.
Well, it's just like how am I supposed to give people their stuff?
I know.
Oh, there it is. I'm still putting it in the wrong place. Oh! But yeah, I love those old-fashioned songs, and the reason why I brought that song up is because the main theme is like, love goes slow, and it goes by fast. The love itself is slow, but the time goes by fast, and it's a shame, That's one of my, I don't know if I can still call it a regret, but it's something that I wish maybe I could have changed. I have a split feelings on it. Like I always wanted to find love when I was young, so I could spend as much time with that person as possible. I didn't want to find it in my 50s or 40s, but it seems like it's more and more like that. That's what I still want. It's very sad. Or even friend groups in general, that type of thing too. I always wanted to stay friends with my friend group, but it just some people have bad luck, and it doesn't work out the way that you want it to.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's just something that's always affected me, right? Unfortunately.
Right.
And it seems like you got lucky when you were younger with a friend group, and then you got dislucky. It became more like a different version of me as time went on, and it's kind of like we know each other.
Right. Yeah, it's so funny that when I was growing up, I had three sets of friends, and I've said this in another video that we made, and I had like the preschool, then I had the neighborhood, and then I had the school, and I had three different groups of friends, and it's just amazing how that worked out. And then
Yeah.
and then when I moved, it's like, like the bottom just dropped. It's like, where do they all go? And I have to start all over again because it took years to build that.
It used to be easier back in your day. I would estimate, even 10 years ago, it was not 10 years ago, let's say nearly 20 years ago, because 2006 was a lot easier than 2023. Because, you were still talking face to face. Technology wasn't really like that. We still had books and papers and calculators, and now I'm not really sure how it is, but I don't hear good reviews or good things about the system. So who knows on that front? And the Common Core, I still hear is a problem. It was introduced, as far as I remember, my senior year in 2014, but my class was way too old for it to start, so they still taught us the old way.
Yeah.
But the reason why I wanted to stop you is because I remember when we were talking about when we were younger, I forgot to talk about like when I moved around.
Okay.
Because remember you said you moved around and I never brought up my own moving around?
Yeah.
I did talk about my dad being in Iraq for a little bit and living with my mom, but I don't think I talked about like the actual people that I met. So when my dad went to Iraq, I first went with my mom, all right, and we first went with because she went with a few different dudes during that time. I don't know what that signifies about my mom, but I don't really care. We first went to Oneida. You know where the Boxing Hall of Fame is, Oneida, New York.
Okay.
It was called MC McAllister School, something like that. I was in 4th grade, and I already missed my dad, but we were there for like a month or two. It's very hard to remember, but I think we were there for like the first month and a half, maybe the first 2 months. And I met friends there. They were very nice people. I'm surprised, Greg. I was actually able to make friends. It was weird.
Hey, that's pretty cool.
And then I went to Cato, like an hour away from there. I went to Cato, Massachusetts County, where I was from, and I made friends there again. I met some weird people, but they were nice people. It was they were nice. I met some weird people, but I wish I could have tracked them down again. But they were nice people, good people. And, one of them was telling me, I remember they used to have a swimming pool there. And I remember being in class one day, and this dude next to me is like, hey, have you ever heard of money laundering? And he's in 4th grade, so I'm like, what?
Oh, my gosh.
I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, money laundering. Like, what if we got, like, a printer or some kind of thing that can print money? And we can, like, make fake money, and we can turn it in for, like, prizes and gifts and stuff. I'm like, dude, that sounds, like, super illegal. Like, he would just say ridiculous stuff like that, and it would just make me laugh. Because I'm like, dude, we can't do that.
Yeah.
But a lot of those people were very nice. And then we got kicked out of there, and then I went to North Bay, which I don't remember where that was. I think it was a little past. I can't remember where it was, but I don't recall making any friends there. Like, I was cool with everybody. Like, nobody really gave me a problem. I was a loner, but people were nice to me. And I think girls talk to me there. It's very hard to remember, but I do remember the first school I went to.
Mm-hmm.
Because the teachers were nice there, and I made the most friends. But the last school I went back to Union Springs because my mom kept me out of school for like a month or two, and truancy officers were looking for her. And she sent me to live with my great aunt, and I went back to Union Springs where I was supposed to go from the beginning. And then 4 years later, in 8th grade, I moved to North Carolina. And in North Carolina, I had a lot of fun. It's not so much that I met like a lot of friends or great people or anything like that, but I loved the weather. The girls were hot as fuck. They were nice too. I met some people I could talk to and hang with. And the people outside the school that we saw and met, they were nice. It was just a very beautiful place,
Mm-hmm.
It was a really great time. We got to play video games, go out to eat, like. It was just a really fun time. I was away from my dad for like a few months, because my brother Brandon wasn't as. And it's cruel to say, but my brother Brandon is more more challenged. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And me and my brother Jeff are smarter. So the reason why we never moved to North Carolina fully, like why he packed us up and brought us back at the end of the summer, is because the guidance counselors were telling Dad, like, hey, he's not going to be able to graduate from any other school. Like, he should stay here. You know, that bullshit. And Dad ended up listening. And he said he regrets it, but, you know, at the time he didn't know what to do with him. So that's just kind of how it became that.
Yeah.
And, you know, those are the places I moved to. And then, you know, like I told you, I moved to Tennessee with my brother Jeff for like 3 months, trying to make it work down there. I failed, obviously, because it was just the wrong time. I was in debt and things didn't work out right. But the reason why I brought up the photos earlier is because I realized a lot of those people, you know, a lot of those people I'll probably never talk to or see again. You know, that's why I brought up the photos the way I did. And I realized I got to move on. You know, a lot of those people are getting older, or some are already dead or dying, and I need to meet new people. I need to make new memories, you know? And it just made me sad, but it also made me wonder what I could do next. Like, am I going to always look at old photos or old people and, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
It just makes me sad that I couldn't change my life so far into what it could have been. So I feel like I could have changed it better, and I did it, and that makes me feel sad. But you know, now I still got time. You know, I'm not even 30 years old yet. I got time. I can still do it. I don't got any kids. I just got to get my ass in gear. You know, I'm on my way to paying off my debt, and I just need to get out of here. So, you know, those are my goals. Those are the things I want to see happen. Those are what bothers me. And I'll have to do it without any family. And, you know, you'd probably be the only friend to go down. So
Yeah.
that's how the future's going to look, unfortunately, for now. What about you? Any obstacles? Did you ever look at any old photos? Just any reaches like I just did?
Yeah, actually, I have seen some old photos. And my family took a lot of old family photos. I actually had some relatives that even went deeper and took a lot of photos. And then it's funny is when you sit down and you go through some of those photos, it's like, who is that person? Who's that person? And you really don't know who they are because you never met them in person, but then they say, oh, that's your great aunt or your great great grandmother or something like that. And then there's sometimes where you look at some of the your old photos and it just brings back memories of some of the things that you did as a kid and with your family. And it even brought me to start taking pictures of some of the events that my parents and I went to or vacations and stuff. And um but yeah, I we have a lot of photos. It's just we kind of threw them in a box, and I like to go through them. Actually, my dad and I were talking about this not long ago, and try to go back through those photos in the box and try to put them in some sort of an order and put them in photo albums just
Well,
to
you know,
have.
that's a fucking shame, right? Because a lot of people nowadays just take them on their phone and then just forget about them. But I'm saying, like, the older generation, like my generation up to yours or beyond that, you know, above that, like late 20s to like above, it seems like, and I kid you not, but it seems like they just throw them in a box and forget about them, and people die and move on, and eventually you're like,
Yeah.
who's that, you know? Like, if I did have kids in the future, they'll be like, who's that? You're like, I don't remember this person, and it's like, they weren't in my life, you know, they left, or they just were there when I was a young kid and they left. They weren't bad people, but they weren't necessarily the best either.
Yeah. We tried everything we could to like label the photos on the backs, when we used to use those cameras and you get developed at a film place. And then some people didn't even label them, so you're kind of like, what the heck is this? And nowadays, with all the technology and stuff, you could do all that stuff.
Yeah, but I don't care about that. I just care about capturing the photo in the moment.
Yeah.
Maybe someday I'll regret not taking more photos. Like, remember how I took a lot of photos when I was younger, and then I stopped. Like, as I got into my 20s, did you ever notice that?
Yeah.
You know, that's just one of the reasons why you grow up and you just move on. There we go. You too. Oh, shit. God, it is so beautiful. Oh, wait. Sorry, Greg. I know it's not beautiful for you. But that's what you get yesterday for telling me it was nice up there.
Yeah, see, it was nice in our area yesterday.
Well, it became nice yesterday, so I can't totally say that. By the end of the day, it was like 64 degrees out. But it kind of pissed me off that you're like, yeah, it's nice over here. Sorry to hear that, Tim. And I know you meant nothing by it, but that doesn't really help, you know?
Oh, I know.
Like, just like now, you're probably like, oh, fuck you, Tim. not like seriously, but you're like, Tim, that's not helping me, you know?
Right.
But yeah, you know, just a lot of people don't appreciate memories anymore. They really don't. Like, it seems like people don't take photos anymore besides, like, girls, young girls. Because I don't really see a lot of guys taking photos anymore besides, like, the gym bros. Obviously, I'm stereotyping, but you know what I'm saying? Like, and it seems like normal people that aren't, like, in the gym or narcissistic or, like, really social media whores, it seems like they don't really take pictures like they used to. Like, nobody's really family. Like, things are separating, and it fucking sucks.
Oh, I know.
You know, one of the reasons why I stopped taking photos and memories and even really videos for a very long time, like, I only recently started back up, like, a couple of months ago, and I barely even do that. The reason why I stopped is because, you know, our generation became more narcissistic and more online, and I didn't like the way I looked. I didn't think I looked good. You know, I became more and more insecure, and I just became a loner. You know, I no longer had friends, or I lost touch with people. I lost touch with reality, and I just stuck by myself. So now it's just like I can't even catch up anymore. I don't know the trends. Like, I don't really do TikTok. Like, I feel like I'm too old, and now it's just like stick with what you knew. You know?
Yeah.
I just can't do the trends.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I knew people that I worked with that were younger that had the same thing too.
Here it is. Here we go. Yeah, expensive. That's what I'm saying. It's just not going to let people anymore, unfortunately, plant or, you know what I'm saying? Like, I still see that, but only like in the older folks. I don't really see younger folks. Like, it sounds pretty though, but it also sounds annoying. Free meal? Of course, ma'am. You have a good day. All right, on to the next house. All right, 196. You know, sorry if we ever go quiet when a customer is here, but like for me to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I feel like it's kind of cool to get like some of my customer talks on tape, you know? Because some of them are pretty good, not gonna lie, but others are just basic, but it shows, you know, just talk to people normal and you'll get the same respect back. Most of the time, there are a lot of weirdos in this county, though, you know, people that deep, people that are sketchy, people that do drugs, people that are family and fuck each other, because Oswego County in the last few years had one of the highest rates of incest in the state. Like, I just had a customer a few days ago who I originally liked. He gave me his number, Greg, and he's like, hey, if you know anybody who needs a gun or ammo or drugs, whatever, I got them. Okay? And I'm like, yeah. His name's Chris. And he always creeped me out, but he seemed like a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know. And he was telling me how everybody in the trailer park that he lived in was sketchy. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, everyone. I wanted to say, does that include you? But I'd rather not. I wasn't scared of the guy. Like, I knew I could take him on in a fist fight, but that doesn't mean you're not weary or kind of frightened of somebody.
Yeah, and
You know
when
what I'm saying? I'm not physically, because I know I could hurt him pretty badly. But I'm frightened, like, mentally, like, because this dude's weird.
especially when they come up to you and ask you that question.
Or they won't leave you alone. Like, I've had that.
Yeah.
But back on the main topic, but yeah, you know, people are just letting memories go. You know, just like I was telling my customer, you know, a lot of just a lot of people don't care anymore, I guess. Life's going too fast, things are more expensive, and people don't have the time in their lives to chill like they used to.
Yeah.
It seems like no one's home.
Oh, no one's home?
I'm going to have to code it. I am a little worried, though. Because one of my packages I thought required a signature, and it was the next package that I messed up. But, you know, if I gotta go, then I gotta go, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, it just makes me wonder what is next out. Have you always wondered that?
Yeah, actually, I have.
You know, Greg, I don't know how you did it. Like, because Greg, if you guys don't know, most of his adult work two different type of fields. Greg has always been in like I consider security still and criminal justice and among those things. Like, I hope you don't mind, but you've always done the criminal justice field,
Mm-hmm.
and you never really explored other fields as much as you said you wish you did. Do you still hold on to that mindset, that thought process?
Yeah, I think it just really depends on what you want to do because I've known people that have been in the criminal justice field all their life and they wanted to be a police officer but then end up being something else and whatnot.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I think I might have worded it wrong. What I'm saying is not anything about the criminal justice field. I'm saying you personally, not people that you know, but do you personally ever regret not like exploring other fields like I did, like gas stations or factories or like delivery positions, like that type of stuff? Because I've done like all the normal jobs. Like I've done factories, I've worked at gas stations, I've done pizza delivery, I've worked in food shops, I've done tire places, I've done driver positions. Like I worked cleaning, as a janitor, that type of stuff. Have you ever wanted to explore different fields? Have you ever regret being in the field that you had for so long and not having experiences in other fields?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Yes, I have.
That's what I was asking. Why don't you go more in depth with that? What made you say, because I don't think we've ever gone in depth with some of the stuff, but, we briefly mentioned it a few times, but why don't you go into depth, of what made you say so?
Well, I think with my field, I stuck with it because I thought, being comfortable and stuff, and I would actually go somewhere. But then again, there's times where, yeah, I felt like I wanted and I should have gone out and looked at other jobs to gain more experience. And sometimes, when you go to other jobs, you learn different things like computers, you learn different ways of doing things like working in the warehouse and stuff like that. And that could build a good skill set, I guess you call it. But that's something that I didn't do. I don't know why I didn't do that, but I do regret that because then I could put that stuff on my resume and be like, oh wow, you did all this stuff and it makes you look better. But I think I just got so comfortable doing what I did, and that's how I stuck with it. And I
I,
just
I keep going.
and I just didn't, step out of my comfort zone, I guess, and explore other jobs.
I understand what you're saying. Listen, dude. I get it. I know why you said what you said because FedEx, like you and that security company you worked for a very long time. FedEx, even though I went to it for 10, about 4 or 5 years now, it's not that I got too comfortable. I got too complacent. I think that's the problem. Not really become comfortable, but it's an everyday routine. You get used to it. You get complacent, and then you forget the determination. You forget the striving to do better. Like you just forget what made you want to do better in the first place compared to where you started.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. And that was something that affected me. I became too complacent, and I stopped looking, and it was just a means to an end. Those are the things that affected me. Those are what happened to me. And you can say you regret it every day, but it brought me into another pay sphere compared to the normal jobs or city jobs I was working. So I can say I regret FedEx, but it wouldn't technically be true.
Right.
Because FedEx has allowed me to live the lifestyle and the life that I needed to survive the last few years. And it helped me enjoy that nice Camaro and the truck I got, and it helped me survive homelessness. So, you know, who am I to say that it's crappy or this or that, you know?
Right.
It wouldn't be true, Greg, is my point.
Oh, I know.
Well, I don't know if the security job had, and I get to be my own boss. I get to travel in the woods and see new routes. I would say my position was better than yours. Like when it comes to what the job actually is.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mean to upset you if that offends you. I just think there's more benefits at my type of position than yours. That doesn't offend you, does it?
No, it doesn't. No, you're absolutely right.
Because, I mean, think about it, Greg. Would you rather be in an office where they make barely no work and you have to fix it yourself?
Right.
And your co-workers suck and you got to talk to different managers? Or, even though this has its own problems, you get to be in the wilderness every day. You get to stop and eat when you want. You get to meet new animals. You get to meet people. You get to travel in the woods, and you just get to drive around and enjoy the weather. Like,
no, actually, I wouldn't mind that because you're by your, like you said, you're by yourself. You don't have a supervisor down your throat.
you are absolutely correct. Amen, Greg. Amen.
No,
And
so
for
I
anybody
definitely
that
agree.
listens, I just gotta say this for anybody that listens to the podcast and they wonder why it never gets quiet or Greg doesn't talk. It's usually when I gotta go make like a quick stop, you know. That's why sometimes I'll say, "Hey, Greg, talk about a subject," so that way they're not like, "Where the fuck did they go?"
Yeah, and I don't want to start talking and then you're talking to a customer and then there's like a couple of us on the phone talking at the same time.
Hear about that, Greg? Well, you should talk to them. I gotta go make this deal.
Okay. Yeah, so I totally agree with where Tim is coming from. I think there's times where there are some jobs out there that, are really good. And I will tell you, I tried, have my own business and I really enjoy doing that. But sometimes it's challenging because, you got to spend a lot of money and go out and get your clients. But the one good thing about having what I really enjoyed having my business was I was in control and I didn't have a supervisor. It was just me and a business partner, but then I took the business on my own. And I just like, and I just liked doing my business on my own because, you're in control and you can do whatever you want and you're the supervisor, so you don't have to listen to anybody, so just listen to yourself. And so that's one thing I do miss is just I like being like you, Tim, being by yourself and If I could have a job like that again, I would love doing it.
It's a wonderful, wonderful thing, man.
Because I don't like working with some of these supervisors. I've had terrible supervisors, and there's times where, no offense, I'm more qualified than they are. I got more experience than they have, and it's just hard when
Well,
you have somebody telling you what to do, and it's like, really, if you do it this way, it can make things easier, and you just can't do that. So, I just like it when you're by yourself.
I agree. What are you doing the rest of the day?
I don't have anything planned right now.
Some of these days, you know,
Yeah, kind of broke up there a
and
little
I know
bit.
listen, I know that sounds mean, but I mean, shit, dude, take it. Don't you ever regret wasting time
Yeah, I do
doing nothing?
sometimes. Yeah, I do.
If I could do things differently, I would have, yes. But, I've been on this journey for so long now, Greg.
Hmm.
And I still got so much left to do, so much left to pay, so much left to change. I also want to be a story to others. There's still so much more you can do. Why take yourself out?
Right.
Take yourself out to dinner.
Yeah.
Death is not temporary. Death is forever.
Right.
There's no incarceration. There's no reincarnation. There is no second chance. There is no big father of the sky. You were lucky to have been born, and life is a struggle. There is no God. There is no second chances. What you have now is what it is. And if you can't beat it, and I won't judge you for it, because I feel that way. I still fight. I still try to better than I did yesterday. And every week at payday, I'll still try to do and be better than what I was. You know?
Yeah.
Fuck. Who is the fucking food box? That is my prerogative, right? That is my perspective.
Yeah.
And are you in any debt, Greg?
Yeah, I am. I was, not now, but I was. I'm okay right now.
You are okay.
Yeah.
But if you're in, I don't even know what to tell you. I would go bankrupt. I mean, or maybe not even pay it. If you're in so much debt, whether it's from medical or lawyer or anything else, and you can't pay it, I gotta understand why you kill yourself. They can't throw you in prison. They can't garnish your wages to where you can't live. And you have to sleep on the street, so you might as well die anyways. I don't advocate for suicide, but I understand why people do it. The capitalistic system is fucked up. And if you aren't like the system, then they're probably glad to get rid of you.
Right.
It's not meant for everyone, unfortunately. Not everybody is equal or gets a fair shot at life. it's weird how much things could have changed if the right person could have got the right fucking chance in life.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of men in prison that if they were born in normal families or didn't have the experiences or abuse or issues that they did, maybe they could have been the next Hitchens or the next Newton, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
It's amazing what some people could have been. Ooh, a 1973 Challenger, nice. What the guy has, it's pretty nice. All orange with like black stripes on the hood.
Oh, wow.
I know, it's very clean for a New York car. Must be garaged. But yeah, you know, I'm near County Route 4. So, you know, if the same thing happened yesterday, and for those that don't know, County Route 4 is like the route where all connection ends. And Greg knows that. That's why I tell him that every time. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
So, you know, do the same thing as yesterday. Is, you know, if it cuts out, then you know what to do. Just pause it.
Yeah.
And I'll only be on this road. I'll only be on it for one stop, but just in case it does cut out.
Okay.
It's just, you know, the worst part of it, unfortunately.
Oh, I know. You could be talking about something good, and all of a sudden, darn it.
I'm near O'Connor Road.
Okay.
You know, when I talk... What?
I was gonna say, there's not much you can do when it does that.
Exactly. You know, my dad was telling me about an internet stick where I could get internet for my Nintendo Switch, but it's like, that's all well and good, but it has like no USB port.
Okay.
So it's fucked. Unless they have a game card of internet, you're
Right.
limited.
Right.
Something to do. But if you can have fun, it can be very fun, right?
Yeah.
You want to know what I'm surprised by?
What's that?
I'm surprised Sony hasn't created another handheld system. You know?
Yeah.
That's what I'm shocked about. Like, they let the PSP and the PSP Vita go because they didn't put the right money or the right energy behind it. That's what I don't like about them. They don't put the right energy behind it. But Nintendo, they don't have to because retards will still buy it, right? Oh, why are you buying it? Oh, it's Nintendo. Why would I not?
Right.
One of those days, right? One of, unfortunately, those days. I don't think anyone's here, so I'm going to record it. I'm going to check the records.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to check. Yeah, I know. The inside is as dark as LeBron James. That's fucked up, right? That you laughed at that. See how quiet you got?
I know.
That. That's funny as fuck. Just kidding, Greg. Calm down. Right.
Yeah.
So be okay. Calm down.
I know.
Did you hear that Selena Gomez song? Just calm down. Calm down.
Yeah, actually, I have. I've heard that.
You know, she's aged pretty fine. Right? You don't have to feel weird about it. She's only like 15 years younger than you. She's like 32, so it can't be that weird. Listen, if Leonardo DiCaprio can date 25-year-olds, you can say a 30-something-year-old is hot.
Yeah, that's true.
I think she's aged well.
Yeah, she has. I'll do admit that.
I just don't get the obsession with her. She seems like a nice person, but what the fuck's the obsession with celebrities?
Right.
Like, I'm not saying it'd be cool not to see them, but I just don't get it, man. Like, why does your wedge take Korean pop, for example, Greg. Korean pop.
Okay.
Like the BTK, like, where people like their pop shit. I don't get it, man. Like, I like pop, and I think the Korean bands are okay, but or like the Jonas Brothers, like they're just regular dudes from like I think Pennsylvania. Like, what? What's the obsession, man? I just don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because I'm just getting older and I care less, but it seems like it's gotten worse compared to what it was back in the day. Except for paparazzi, they always make it worse.
Oh, I know.
But you know what I do like to see? I like to see more celebrities face consequences for their crimes. Like R. Kelly, yeah, it took them 30 years. Harvey Weinstein, yeah, it took them nearly 40 years. Fucking Jeffrey Epstein, they killed him in prison, and it took them like over 20 years, but they never released the list, and they never released the footage of Maxwell's testimony, his like little partner. I'm surprised she's not dead, honestly.
Oh, I know.
Just reminder, Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. Do you think he killed himself, Greg?
I don't think he did.
I'm pretty sure the guards that were guarding him got punished because they like left for a certain period of time and like the cameras didn't work.
Yeah.
For $2 billion, and I think he gave it all to his faker brother.
Yeah. Yeah, I lost you there for a second.
It's just turning into one of those days. Like, I'm just trying to be positive, as I'm sure a lot of people try to, and it just feels like it's getting worse and worse now. So,
Yeah, I know.
like, just the way they have everything and just how they fucked up my route, it's just becoming city. I could be out for a while, unfortunately. And it seems like everybody's getting done faster and faster, but mine's taking longer and longer. It's one of the reasons why I downloaded Indeed. I think, even though I don't want to, Greg, like mentally, I think it's time for me to try to move on. I think it's time for me to move on. To be honest with you.
Yeah, and I understand that.
There's just nothing left, and I keep taking longer and longer to get done. It's just not working out for me. And they keep pushing more and more shit on me for less and less pay. I just don't want to do it anymore. Like, I need more money, and they just... I'll miss the system that it's done, like, you know what you're making, and you make the same, like, I'll miss some part of it because you know what you're going to get and what's coming, but I'll keep working until I find something different. I'm not just going to quit. I'll give it 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But, Edgar, one of my fellow coworkers, he's leaving too. He'll still do Saturdays, but he said besides that, he'll be gone from FedEx. because he's just tired of their bullshit and he's tired of how things are going. Just impure confidence.
So it sounds like everybody's not happy.
No, Greg, it's all fucked up.
Yeah.
I'll miss the customers, but I don't really see too much of them anymore. I'll miss the animals, I always do. But what else am I really missing? Like, yeah, I miss the land, but I can always visit it whenever I want. It would just be weird not seeing it every day, because when you see it every day, you get used to it. I'm tired of getting used to shit. That's how people stay forever, and they have so much regret. I just don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah. I know, and it's a hard thing. You know, it's a hard decision to make, especially when you like a job and you're comfortable with it, and
Yeah,
but you got to look long term too.
indeed I do. Indeed I do. Indeed I do. Again, I miss the house.
Oh.
I miss the house. I miss the house. And then, like, kids are up the street, like, trying to get my attention. Like, it's like, what are you guys doing? You know, I've seen kids do that the wrong way, like, where there's a sale and another kid will be on the opposite side of the road. I remember I saw a parent stop one day, because, you know, I used to live in the village, and it was just above the village. And I remember seeing some parents stop that day and, like, yell at their parents, like, dude, why are your kids in the middle of the road? Like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I get trying to sell stuff and, you know, you're excited, but some of that stuff you can't do anymore, dude. It's not worth doing, you know?
Oh, I know.
But, let things be as they will come, Greg, I guess. It's gonna be what it is.
Yeah.
You know what, Greg? I decided just add both episodes together. It'll just be easier that way. And maybe we can get our longest episode ever.
Oh, okay.
Because they're both kind of the same thing. We don't really have anyone or anything to talk to, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we don't really have anything or anyone. Like, it just kind of is what it is. Like, you know, it just kind of. I think they're selling lemonade. I'm not really sure. It's just I can't stop. I wish I could, but you know, they're selling lemonade. I feel bad because they're like they're just before, like, they're like 500 feet before the edge of the road, and like nobody's going by, and they're hidden behind bushes. Like, wait a minute. G.S. Creek. I can't read that. I feel bad for them. It looks like they're trying to sell something, and you know, the little girl was trying to flag me down, but I'm like, I'm sorry, little girl, I gotta go. You know?
Yeah.
I can't see, Greg. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're crying. You know, it reminds me of my youth, like trying to build forts and just having a happier time. Like, it's just ironic that my unhappiest time in my life is when I was a teenager. I was pretty happy as a kid. I tried to be. You know, I just tried to explore and love what I could and like what I could, and you know, I just tried to do different things.
Right.
Didn't always work out, but you know, I kind of miss our generation. Like, I'm glad ours was the last generation before the phones came, before the tablets, and before any of that. Because now that's all they're obsessed with. They can't go a day and a half without their social media or their friends. Like, they can't go back to the old times.
Right.
makes me feel like a boomer, honestly. Because I can probably go days without my phone, just not the ability to call people, just in case I get stuck. Like, you don't want to be stupid, but I'm just talking about social media. I could go multiple days without using social media.
Oh, I know.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. The people that live at this house is weird. I'm on Keefe Road. Just the people that I deliver to on this road is weird because they'll look at you as you back down the driveway.
Are they like an older couple?
Greg, they're the type of people that are like, "Oh, my grass is precious. Keep off my grass."
Oh, those type. Okay.
Yeah, like I almost fought the dude's father because I remember I think they planted the grass because it used to be all dirt and I just used to back up. But one day I accidentally went over, I guess, the dirt, even though it was still dirt. But he's like, "Oh, there's patches of grass." Like, he was just being a royal dick, and we almost got in a fist fight, and I would have beat his ass. And I had to walk away.
Yeah.
He walked away too. He didn't come near me. Because when they come near you, then talk's off. That's where the guns come off. You're getting fucked up.
Right.
If they want to talk shit, that's fine. If you want to get me fired, that's fine. But if you walk near me, I'm going to rearrange your jaw.
Yeah, because all you're doing is defending yourself.
Exactly. You don't let them get too close.
Right.
When I see these fight videos, Greg, I don't get it. Like, they let them talk face to face, and that's how you get hit in the jaw or something, and go night night.
Yeah.
I don't get it. It's like, and then I see other videos where the dude steps forward and then he gets hit. It's like, what did you expect?
Yep.
The way I do it, Greg, so I cover my bases, is I never walk towards them. I make them walk towards me.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
It's your property or where we're at, and it's funny. It's always the older people too.
Yeah.
They can't keep their tempers in check. They can't keep their fucking hands to themselves. It's like, dude, this isn't 1970. I'll beat your ass. I'll feel bad because you're an old man, but you need to watch who you're talking to, and you need to keep your fucking hands to yourself.
Right.
This isn't the 1970s where you may have been Billy Badass. Well, guess what? You're not that way anymore. Fucking are you? Keep your hands to yourself. And maybe not be such an asshole. Maybe we'll get on fine.
Yeah.
Well, most of the customers, I know by now I can wave and it'll be fine. Some are still weird, but you're just like, put on a fake mask of politeness and you'll be fine. You'll always have those people at any type of job you're at. It's not always the weird, quote-unquote, weird ones.
Yeah, that is true.
What about, so you've never done retail?
The only thing retail I've done was loss prevention.
Did you ever have to deal with any stupid customers, like any Karens?
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you tell some stories? I forgot about your loss prevention days.
Yeah, not really parenting kids, but I pretty much had to deal with kids themselves. teenagers, that kind of thing. Um, I worked at I won't say, but I worked at a well-known retailer chain.
Macy's.
And
Did I get it right?
no.
Well, you're more polite than I would. The only reason why I'm not having you tell the supervisor story is because I've heard it a million times, and we can tell that in a different video.
Yeah.
Because you had that loss prevention supervisor that you hated.
Oh, yeah.
You can tell that at a different time. But I've never heard any of your customer stories.
Yeah, I've had quite a few of the customer ones.
How do you tell them if you can remember?
Yeah, basically, like I said, I worked at a well-known retailer in loss prevention, and basically, at this time, I was living in northern Wisconsin and lived in a small town. And this was the nightly hangout for teenagers. You know, back in my day, teenagers hanged out at the mall, went to the movies, and stuff like that. Well, in this town, everybody comes to this wonderful store. They walk around and just screw around. Well, I had a group of teenagers that came in, and my supervisor was gone for the day, so pretty much it was me, and I worked the late afternoon early shift, basically 12 to 9 shift. And in the evening, about dinner time on, I get all these teenagers walking around. And I had a bunch of these teenagers, probably about five of them. They were all guys, and they just like walking around and just knocking things off the shelves and everything. And um, they did this several times, you know, through a 4 or 5 day period. It was around Halloween. And I don't know if it was because it was Halloween time or they just had nothing better to do with their lives. So I started following them around and everything, making sure they didn't steal. And they weren't the type that didn't steal, but you didn't know that. But it was mostly taking things off the shelves, knocking them down, rearranging, you know, putting something here, over there. And so,
I've never done.
yeah. So I started following them, and there were also ones that started yelling in the store and try to do practical jokes. And I actually told my supervisor about them, and she says, you know, just keep following them, you know, do the best as you can. Well, lo and behold, I think they started realizing I was starting to follow them. They didn't know who I was at first, and um, so I had to be careful of my, you know, showing who I was. But eventually, you know, it caught on. So they finally figured it out. And one day, my supervisor was shopping after the shift and she saw the kids. I said, these are the kids I'm talking about. Okay, well, you know, follow them, make sure they're doing what, you know, they're not supposed to be doing. And then all of a sudden, they started yelling and screaming, oh, there's the loss prevention guy. As soon as they did that, I went behind, um, back in the cooler areas and stuff so they wouldn't see me, but I could still see them. And they also were trying to find me, and I'm sitting here hiding and till they left the store, and finally they left the store, and the next day, this is kind of getting into, I'm not saying too much about my supervisor, but this is kind of how it got started. And she called me into the office one day and said, you know, what happened? And I almost got in trouble for that because, oh, I was supposed to leave the floor and all that stuff. And I didn't leave the floor because of my safety. It was the idea that I just didn't want my job to be blown, my cover to be blown because I'm supposed to be undercover. And they knew who I was, and I just didn't want that to happen. But luckily, um, after that, I never saw them much anymore. Like I said, I think it was a Halloween thing. I don't know. But that was one of the stories that was really, I think about all the time. Um, because I didn't know what they were doing, if they were telling other kids, this is this guy's description, and be on alert for this guy, that kind of thing. So, um, but like I said, I've dealt with teenagers, and then we've had other teenagers come in and run around and jump all over the place and climb the shelves and knocking things over. It's just like, wow, it's like, how old are we? And not just high school kids. I had even college kids coming into it too. So it was just becoming like the playground of the city, I guess.
Greg,
Yeah,
you're obviously talking about Walmart.
right.
I don't know why you hate the description, like a big retail chain, like there's only really one place people are gonna think of.
Yeah, I know.
I always said Macy's because I know they used to be very popular back in your day, not so much now.
No.
But they used to be really big like 20 years ago because they used to throw those Macy Day parades.
Yeah.
I don't know if they still do, but I haven't heard of it in a while.
Yeah, they actually do. They do it around Thanksgiving.
I'm guessing in only certain locations.
I know we have one here in Chicago, and I think the one in New York.
You guys still have Macy's?
Yeah.
Or more major cities?
We just have one that's downtown Chicago.
There's one at the Destiny Mall, the one I'm going to take you to.
Okay.
There's one there, but it's more girls, like a girl type store, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was always jealous of girls. They get more of a shoe selection.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like, think about any thrift store or any place where you can get some good deals. The guys maybe have like one or two type of different things. And then the girls, like, their fucking shoe line is stacked. It's like, dude, what the fuck?
I know.
Greg, I'll tell you a few stories of how I was not caught. Greg, I used to be one of those people that would get popcorn chicken from Walmart, where they put it in a thing for you, like a container.
Yeah.
And you used to pay up front.
Yeah, we had a lot of those too.
Greg, I used to be one of those guys. From when I was about 5 till about 18, I used to do that every time I went.
Uh-huh.
And nobody ever caught on. We would just put it in random locations, but I've never had somebody confront me. I've never had somebody be like, "Hey, you're coming with me." Like, it's never happened. So that's why it's like, I don't know if it's like, I know they still have them, but it's never happened to me. I've never had someone be like, "Hey, you're coming with me."
Yeah, we had a lot of those in our store too, and I'll tell you that was one of the less things they wanted us to focus on.
I mean, I paid a few times, but most of the time I did not. And then another time, I literally walked out. Remember when Kim Possible was huge?
Yeah.
And they had that naked mole rat doll, the one that Ron had on his shoulder all the time.
Yeah.
I walked out of Walmart with a box full of those. I stole them. Because they were literally on the ground, and I was like 5 or 6, and my dad was waiting out front for me. And I literally just walked out with them. And he's like, "Tim, what the fuck is this?" And I'm like, he gave them to me. He's like, you're positive? I'm like, yep, they gave them to me. And I never got caught. Another time, they're hatching like $10. Another time I accidentally walked out with like a Cookie Monster hat. And I didn't even realize it.
Yeah, I could see that.
But I never got in trouble. Like, nobody was like, stop, sir. What is that? Like, Greg, if you're not suspicious, and by that I mean if you're mostly white, look the part, and look presentable, they're less likely to stop you.
Right.
It may sound weird, but I've seen it so many times, Greg, I've never been stopped. Never been questioned. But I don't steal shit. Have I before? Like, you know what I used to do at gas stations when I was a small child?
What's that?
You know those goldfish crackers?
Yeah.
I used to walk around the gas station while my mom was doing what she was doing and eat them. This is before they got all the cameras. And I used to eat them and then I'd put them like underneath the shelves. And they wouldn't find them until later. I did that a few times.
Oh my gosh.
I was never caught like once. Sorry guys, I was petting a dog. Like I'm on the Lake Ontario, and there's some nice houses out here. And they'll have some nice animals out here that you don't see every day, so I'll pet the rare dog. But, you know, I actually saw a very rare dog yesterday.
Oh, what's that?
It was half St. Bernard and half North Swiss.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what North Swiss is, but maybe you heard of it.
I've heard of the name. I've actually never seen one, but I've heard somebody talk about it.
The dog looked like a black St. Bernard with like a tail. I was like, what the fuck? Very beautiful dog. Usually St. Bernards are like brown or whitish.
Yeah.
But it was a very, very beautiful dog. The type of dog I want someday is a German Shepherd, half German Shepherd, half Golden Retriever. Very gorgeous dogs.
That'd be nice because I like both of them myself.
You should look it up. It's a very gorgeous looking dog. I mean, obviously later, you know, so you don't ruin the taping, but
yeah.
Very gorgeous dog. But I'm iffy when it comes to half and half because some breeders can lie and you never know what you're gonna get.
I know.
And how do you know it didn't come from like a puppy mill or breeding, you know? Because my dad's been lied to and coughed up money before.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we ended up loving the dog, but he was supposed to get an England Mastiff and he got a pit bull Mastiff. They lied.
Wow.
It was a very big dog, but you know, like when he didn't get any bigger than expected, we were like, I think you were lied to. He's like, well, there goes $1,000. But we kept it anyways for the next 4 years before, you know, it was tightened, you know, before he got hit by a car and then Aries came. But I love that dog. That dog was fucking amazing. But, you know, it seems so long ago, you know, 5 years, man. Fucking just so long ago. You know?
Yeah.
It's amazing. It really is amazing, Greg, how fast time can fly.
Oh, I
Is
know.
it not?
I remember being a kid and it seemed like the time dragged. And then I had older people tell me, "Oh, when you get older, time's gonna fly." And I'm like, "Yeah, right."
Now, don't get me wrong, there are days that I wish would fly and they don't.
Yeah,
Imagine if every day was like that. I don't think life would be worth living if every day it just slowly dragged on.
oh, I know.
Maybe I'm being a little sarcastic, but like, you can't tell me you prefer that instead.
Yeah,
Because I'll tell you what, Greg, I wouldn't.
I know. I feel the same way.
I know, I know. Uh, we're sorry if this podcast sucks. We couldn't really think of anything. Nothing really exciting has happened the last few days. I mean, or even in the news, nothing really has popped up for me. I haven't seen anything. Have you, Greg?
The only thing I've been watching, well, today, if everybody probably knows that Prince Charles has now officially become
Who
king,
gives a fuck?
but I've been watching
Who gives
that.
a fuck?
But that's the big thing.
Wow, posh douchebag mama's boy in a home wrecker. It should have been Princess Diana.
I know.
And you know, Greg, she would still be alive. Because what was she doing in Paris? She was dating another guy after her divorce. She
Yeah.
would still be alive because she loved him. She would still be alive, in my opinion, if he stayed married to her and wasn't such a douchebag.
I know. I agree.
But nobody likes Camilla, and they don't want Charles either. But they should modernize. They should get rid of the king and queen title. Like, so few countries have that anymore. It's not necessary. In my opinion, I don't think it's necessary. They don't have any real power.
I know.
It's more of a tourist thing than anything. Yeah, the president meets with the king and queen, but
They're just figureheads.
pretty much, it's not. Who has the job? The prime minister.
Yeah.
You know, Greg, it's amazing that people forget, and this may sound controversial to you, and if it is, I'm sorry. But are people forgetting how terrible of a person the queen was? You might be confused. You're like, what do you mean she was a terrible person? Greg, are you forgetting what they did? Greg, she was pretty much the one in charge since about 1952.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little before that, because her father, I think, either died or abdicated the throne. But are you forgetting that what Britain used to do, what they have done,
Oh, I know. I haven't forgot that.
what they did in India?
Yeah.
I'm not saying she was a terrible person because she was firm. I don't think she was a terrible person, but I don't think she was exactly a great one either. She would have just been a normal ass brave woman if she never had the crown. She would have just been a normal fucking person. What I do commend her on is staying with the same guy, trying to serve in World War II, but working on the trucks. I do call her brave, but I don't think she was a great person. People forget she treated Diana like shit.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Those days?
I do.
Why does it? Remember how the press made fun of her as she was sleeping at like some party, but she was pregnant and she was tired?
Yeah.
The press and the royal family always treated her like an outsider. and they treated her like shit. I don't understand how you can treat someone's kids great, but you treat their parent like shit. Well, she never deserved it. But you know what, Greg? She had a lot more poise and respect than I did. I would have told them to fuck off. But you know what? Princess Diana did it in a classy way. To me, the queen was a saint. No
Yeah.
matter how brave or loyal she was to her country. Just because she wasn't a Benedict Arnold and stayed married to her high school sweetheart, normal people do that shit all the time. She had no power. She was nothing. Why do you think none of the kings or queens met
I know.
with the president during World War II? Why
Yeah.
do you think it was the Churchill, on radio? Why do you think it was Churchill? It wasn't the queen. It wasn't the king. That's why, remember the movie The King's Speech?
Yeah.
It was a great movie, don't you think?
I thought so.
It had Tim Burton's former wife in it, that Helen girl. She played the queen.
Right. Yeah.
It was a good movie, but why the fuck would people want to hear the King's Speech? Like, he did nothing. A figurehead. Winston actually was the one running and doing shit. Now, don't get me wrong, do they have some choice in some things? I'm sure, but people think they have, like, ultimate power. They don't. Like, some people think the Queen was as powerful as Donald Trump was. Or that he was more important than Donald Trump was. When
Right.
he was president. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, guys? You think the Queen, like they say she's the royal queen of the Commonwealth, Canada, Australia. It's like, you actually think she has any power in those countries? They respect her, but she don't got any power. She can't tell them, hey, you're going to war. They'll tell her to fuck off.
Yeah.
Right, she can't replace the prime minister.
No. No.
Only Parliament can do that. What I'm saying is that she doesn't have the power that people claim she does or say she does. It's ridiculous. She was overrated. Do I think she was a terrible person? Not really, but I'm just tired of people saying, oh, she was this great amazing person. Diana was an amazing person. William is an amazing person. Charles is a coward and a mama's woman.
Yeah.
Harry is a pussy. You know why I say that? Look at his wife.
I know.
An embarrassment. Someone who used to be best friends with Kim Kardashian and was a failed actress. That was all you could get in California. He didn't get a Jackie, Greg. He didn't even get a Marilyn Monroe. He got someone who was a failure in everything else in life besides sucking off others.
Right. No.
And I'm at that both ways, Greg.
Oh, I know.
Although I did like what she was most known for was being in Suits, that Warrior show.
Yeah.
Not in that show, honestly. But it's not like it was because of her. It was because of Harvey and Mike. Have you ever seen the show?
I've heard about it. I have not actually seen the show, but I have heard about it.
It was okay. I mean, I've seen clips. They were entertaining, but I want to say it was great. Greg, I've only done 37 stops out of 96.
Ooh.
Well, one of my stops was missing, so I guess you can say I've done like 39 so far. A couple were missing.
Okay.
Nice car. I don't know why people leave down their fucking windows when it's a nice day. It's like, you want that white shit falling in, or the pollen, or bugs, or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know. That's why I don't put mine down.
Listen, maybe it'll be less hot, but I promise you, you don't want like spiders or bugs falling in there. accidental kid, but the one thing you'll never see me do is marry, unless I'm positive the girl is not a whore and will never cheat or take half of what I have. But seeing as most divorces are initiated by women and women want more than half of the shit and they ask for a lot of child support, they can fuck off. It seems like the man still has to pay and it all goes to the girl. When does it ever go to the kid, Greg? Why is it that they think the girl is weak and she can't take care of herself or her kid? The man is the one that still pays.
Yep, exactly.
And they try to say, "Oh, you're the father, you should pay." It's like, why is it that when the mother runs away or she's a bad mother, she never has to pay? She never gets any punishment. It's not. There's just a lot of shitty things about being a dude. But girls think, "Oh, we have all the power." It's like, what power? Like, we're replaceable. They have more power than we do. Social power and economic power. Because 2/3 of all purchases in the United States are by women. They run the economy, right? Greg, when guys go shopping, they know what they want. Girls often fucking don't. Like whenever I go in a store, Greg, I may look around, but never for long, and I already know what I want in my head.
That's what I am.
I'll see girls drag their husbands along for fucking hours. That's if she doesn't get bored of them.
Yeah.
You're like, "Oh, you're too clingy or boring." But he wasn't that way when they started dating. She changed him, and then she hated what she changed. And if she can't control him, then he's an asshole. There's not much of the dating game that you're missing, Greg. There's nothing to miss. What, sex? What, you want kids at your age? Go ahead.
No, I don't.
I'm sure your grandparents, your parents would like a grandkid.
Yeah.
Even though they're old enough to be a great-grandmother. So I guess, Greg, I'll call you the final father. You know, because Godfather, but you'll be the final father because of your age. Fuck you, Greg. Fuck. Why the fuck did I come down here? Fuck.
Did you go the wrong way?
Yeah, fuck it. I'm tired of this job, dude. I gotta look for something else. Because it's just getting longer and longer. Like, I'm getting out at 5 and 6 every day, and I can't fucking enjoy my time. Like, I can't enjoy anything. It's getting annoying.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to go to a worse route either. You know?
Right.
Like, you think I want to use GPS every day and fucking have to restart day after day where it could be even longer? I'm good.
Yeah, I know, and it's hard, and sometimes the best thing to do is you just have to bite your tongue and just deal with it.
Pretty much what I gotta do for now.
Yeah.
What's your next mission, right?
My next mission?
You heard me.
I don't know yet. I haven't put it together yet.
What are you trying to put together? What's your idea? Because it's been a while now.
Oh, I know. I still play around with things and see where I want to go and what I want to do, but then there's times where you kind of want to do something different.
Well, you already know where you're going. I don't know why you're saying that.
Well, I know that. I'm just saying, like, a job or way,
I know.
because it's kind of getting tiring and stuff.
Well, of course it does. So it seems like to me you're more the second one, the first one.
Right.
Who the fuck knows, Greg? Who the fuck knows? You know, I don't know what life's gonna bring. I could die tomorrow. I don't fucking know.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that too. You know, it's kind of
You thought about me dying?
no. I'd say that in general. You know, you never know what can happen next.
You thought about me dying in general?
No.
I know. Fuck. Well, I mean, you know, just like we were talking yesterday, a lot of younger people are dying and things are happening to them earlier than they should. So, you know, it's one of those things like, who's next?
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like to me. Who is next? And I don't want anybody. You know,
Oh,
I
no.
don't want anybody to be like, I guess it's my time. Like, and I slowly go up. Be like, now it's time. That's nice to know when you finally want.
Yeah.
That is nasty. Well, no, I don't know what some of these things actually ask you.
Yeah.
Because they're not here. I don't know where they put them. That's the thing. I don't know where they are.
It's too bad they don't have some sort of an organized system or something.
Oh, shit. So they really screwed me today. Because a couple of them are missing. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
What's up, brother? You remember what you ordered? Fuck. Because I can't find it. Like, it's not where it's supposed to be. I can't find it. That's the thing. Like, the number they put on it, I can't find that number. That's why I was asking. Like, do you remember? Like, you asked her? If I find it, I'll just come back. But they don't leave me, like, much time, you know, like, the grind. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that. I'll just bring it back today, because then you gotta do it the next day. And you know what I'm saying? I'd rather bring it back today. Yeah, have a good day, brother. That's like my third package that's missing there.
That's odd.
Well, at least he was understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah, today's gonna be a very long day, Greg. You know, it seems like these days are getting worse and worse. It feels like I have to look for another job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely do.
Because it's taking me longer and longer, and I'm tired of doing other routes too. I didn't get paid for that. I didn't get paid to do the pickups. Like, feel like they're using me. They're think I'm stupid. Like I just gotta move on. And I recommend this to any of my listeners that if they're taking advantage of you, don't quit. But quit if you really have to. If you always want to be prepared, but sometimes that's not possible. And I would be a hypocrite if I was like, yeah, I was always prepared. It's like, no, I quit most of my jobs. And I went to find something better. But that's not always possible. Sometimes you gotta stay longer even if you don't want to.
Right.
I just want to know where to go, Greg. Should I go further down or should I stay in the area? Should I try to work for one of the counties? Like, I don't know, Greg. I don't know what to do, Oh my god, I want to pass it again. My frustration's taking over. I'm getting mad.
Well,
like, I keep going by the fucking stops. Like, it's nearly 1 o'clock, and I only got, 36 fucking stops done. This shit's missing.
yeah.
And I can't find it. And I don't have the time to look for this shit.
No, it's like you just told him, you just, if you find it, you go back and deliver it if you want or whatever.
No, fuck that. I stopped doing that. And if my boss ever asks me why, I'll be like, because they didn't pack it right and I didn't find it until the end and I'm not going away halfway across the country for their fucking mistake. They can fuck off.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I say. I'm not doing it. I'm not fixing their mistakes. Fucking make it right. But I'm not going to waste my time when I'm already out late anyways to fucking fix it. I'll do it the next day and it can get voted at 27. I don't care. And if it gets me fired, oh well. You need people anyways. I would just go to a different contractor. I don't get it.
Right.
And hopefully I can make more money there and maybe I will care. But when they're using you and they pay you so little money, when you know you should be making more and you make less than your coworkers, even though you do a better job and stay out later, you feel a certain type of way.
Oh, I know.
Because I know for a fact that a lot of my coworkers make more than I do, right? And in fact, I would say most of them do. And in case you're wondering, yes, it does annoy me, and yes, it does anger me, but for now, there's not much I can do. I just take what I can get for now, but yes, Greg, it is angry.
No, I know.
That's what you wanted to ask.
No, I totally understand. I mean, it's sad that they can't put everybody on the same pay, but
I agree. I completely agree, actually.
yeah, that just doesn't make sense.
It is what it is, man.
Yeah.
How many stops then? Out of 96. So 58 stops then. But they fuck me so much today, it makes me not want to.
Oh, I know.
It just makes me frustrated, and it's like, oh, take your time. I mean, it won't bother them, but it's annoying regardless. And then after I'm done doing my normal section of this route, I gotta go back out and do a third route. Okay, so I got 3 different routes I can do. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's
Now I'm doing my part of the route, but same route. But as much as I say I want to leave, I don't know if I'll make the jump,
mhm.
Because there's guaranteed things here that I have, like, a place to sleep, like Tim, it's an easy routine. It's just getting very frustrating. Or start over, where nothing's guaranteed and you don't know what they're going to require.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So I don't know. I don't know what I would do, Greg.
And those are things you have to weigh out a lot. And
Indeed. Like, I'm already defeated, and I haven't even hit 40 stops yet. So, yeah, it's going to be a very long day. But, I don't really have much left to say on the options that I've been saying. I feel like we've talked about everything that we could at the moment. We made comments. I told you some news. We talked about some cases. Before we end the podcast, there actually is one case that always haunted me. This man, I think it was in Kentucky or something like that. This man in some small town in America was sent letters that his wife was having a divorce. And they would get more threatening. And have you ever heard of those? It ended with his death.
no, I don't think I have.
I think it was a Circuit Bill letter.
Okay.
Letter got. You should look it up. There was some. It ended with his death. Like, people think the father, the guy that got the letters was murdered.
Okay.
And I'm not saying he wasn't, but because that's a strong accusation. But people think that he was murdered and it was a setup and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
It's been a very long time since I looked it up. I'll send you a link later, and I'll advise you guys to look up some of these cases because they can be interesting.
Okay.
I can't wait to get away from this state. I really can't. If I'm being honest with you, foremost, I just can't wait to escape,
Oh, I know.
I can't wait to get out. But unfortunately, that's not going to be soon. Maybe we'll see in 6 months, that time frame I gave you, but we'll see. But until then, I'll leave you guys to your lives and bug you some other time. My name's Tim.
And I'm Greg.
And, that's the podcast, it'll be, we were going to make it 2 parts, but I thought it'd be easier to just have it be one longer episode, probably the longest, and just edit them together, because I feel like both podcast episodes didn't have anything special,
Yeah.
We were just doing normal talks, but it didn't feel like the one we did earlier in the week.
Okay.
That one felt really good, and this one, it just felt like we had nothing,
Yeah.
So that's why I did that the way I did. So, anyways, I'll call you